can't believe that just happened. The dead deer. He dropped right where we had him. Yes! Oh my gosh. Holy crap. The great Hambino right here.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of the Fall Podcast. We are in studio with the smallest deer we've ever recorded with right here. He's shedding.
Shedding a little bit.
Right there. You can see that. We have Heath Block in the podcast with us, and Zack. Zack said this is second time offender here in almost a month.
That's right. Becoming a regular around there.
And we got David to my left, and this one's gonna be a good one. We'll put down some beers. David's gonna just drink water tonight because he's got to drive, but this will be a good time. Yep. First and foremost, Heath, the floor is yours. Tell us who you are. Where the hell you come from?
Heath Block. I own a business with my brother Zack. It's a pool business. Obviously, if you listen to this, you've already heard that.
Pool and spa. Baja Spas.
That's right. Yep.
Is that what it's called?
No.
It's called Blocko.
I was going to say great
good
name.
advertisement.
Great
Blocko.
name.
Yep.
We work to hunt. Love it. Very fortunate. My wife understands, and I have 4 kids at home, and no fuss from her whatsoever. So
that's part of it, though. Your wife has got to understand, right? I mean,
it was a lot of years of grooming her.
Yeah. Well, then when you add kids to the mix, you got young kids or are they older?
I got a 9-year-old boy, 7-year-old boy, 5-year-old girl, and 3-year-old girl.
Oh, busy. Busy.
very busy. He'll be busy for a while.
Yeah. Yep.
No, I'm glad you could come up here and do this. And this is just a deer that we have to talk about. And we got to do him justice. I mean, this is absolutely just a giant of all giants. And we were just talking about a couple of the guys who were with you, and you were guessing the score. And when Wilson, I know you're going to listen to this. 170, come on, guy. You know better than that. I had to give you a little shit behind your back. So I just,
He's 170 with just his main frame 12.
With beams, mass, and brow tines, he's 170. No, it's good. Before we get into this, though, David and I have been doing a little question here, but I want to pose it to you guys, okay? Mm-hmm. He's never heard this question. You guys have never heard this question.
Are we going to rip this all the way around the table?
We're going to rip it all the way around the table. First, I'm going to go to Heath because the question kind of is about a 200-inch deer. So all free range, okay? It's going to be all free range. If you knew about a 200-inch deer somewhere, how much would you pay to hunt that deer? What's your line?
How much would I pay to hunt that deer?
Yep.
That's a tough one.
It's a good one. If you knew about the deer and the guy was like, hey, anybody can hunt it, name your price. How much are you going to pay?
Great.
As long as I wasn't stepping on anyone else's toes that had a bunch of history with the deer, I would feel very comfortable throwing down $5,000. Anything more than that, I'll go check another deer.
Yep.
But if I knew someone else had history with that deer, I feel like there's a line that I would cross by doing that.
Yep.
If we had a deer here in Michigan, which obviously we don't, that was 200 inches or near that number, and Zack or I had history with that deer, I would be extremely upset if someone gave someone $10,000 to go hunt this 5 acres and edge hunt us just to kill this one specific 100%. Deer.
Yep. No, I totally get that. That was going to be my next question. If he's in Michigan, a 200-inch deer, not stepping on any toes, would you pay more than $5,000? I mean, that'd be almost a state record, I think.
It'd be, yeah. There's a couple there that are 200, but nothing north.
I actually think there is a 238 that was killed down in southern Michigan.
The urban deer a couple years ago?
Yes.
Is that the one?
Yep.
It's Melton's buddy.
Yeah.
So the property owner just to the west of us.
Put that right next to you.
Yep.
You can move this up and down.
The property owner just west of us at Deer Camp lives down there, and his buddy's the one that killed that 238.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
No.
No.
It's the only reason that And 238 may be the exact number. And the only reason I
think it
know
is
it
the
is
exact
because
number.
I went down a rabbit hole the other day just kind of looking for county records, like typical county records, and they're tough to find. But the first image that popped up was that 238. And I was like, yeah, he's all of that. He's
Yeah.
real big.
Yeah.
All right, so he's at $5,000. Zach, what are you at? Zach would probably give up his family for it.
I don't know.
Hey, selling the pool business.
Yeah. Sweetie, you're going to have to get another job.
Time to go on unemployment.
I mean, you got to draw a line somewhere, but
Do you, though?
I don't know if that line's $5,000.
Zach's the risk taker.
Yeah. Well,
Heath has got
100%.
the level head.
well, hold on. I guess is it a 200-inch deer or is it a 207 and a half? Because I don't want to shoot a 206 and 3/4.
Okay, it's going to beat this deer.
Wow, boy. Yeah,
The womb broom is getting me. He showed up with the womb broom on.
I mean, if you go knock on
looks
it,
good, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
if
I'm going to have to wash that mic when we're done, though.
if you go knock on a door of a property owner that has a 200 with that womb broom, are you really even having to pay? Probably not.
No.
No.
Especially
They're-
if it's
hey, come on in.
a mill for a gill.
Oh yeah, come on in.
She's going to open up the door and just soak herself.
100%.
Just like that.
Oh, my
Get-
God.
I mean, 7,500.
Really?
Well, you got to look at, yeah. I mean, yeah. They're just so few and far between.
Not a lot
You
of
might
them.
only have
Yeah.
one chance.
Yep.
What's your price?
Okay, so
7,500.
I mean, you'd have to think about it, wouldn't you?
You would.
So-
God, that's taken out a loan, though.
yeah, it would be.
That.
Man, because you're thinking you're basically kind of just paying a finder's fee, is what you're kind of hoping. Like someone's
Yep.
proven to you that they have a 200. Man, the out of state is so tough. Let me think about that, but I'm gonna answer on the Michigan thing.
Okay.
I wouldn't pay, because if I'm gonna rip one off in Michigan at 200, I want to do it like a full clean.
Yep.
I can say I did it.
Yep.
Didn't pay $1 to go do it. That's
Yep.
just me personally for the Michigan thing. Man, but for out of state,
So this is my
man,
whole
I
thing.
don't even know.
So I wouldn't pay anything either, no matter where it was,
Yeah.
because I've heard scuttle of someone that we know
Mm-hmm.
that's shot 6 200s already,
Yep,
Totally.
and he paid $60,000 for one.
the first one.
To me, that loses everything.
Yeah,
And now that's $60,000. That's a lot of money. But I'm just saying, the moment, like, now it's one thing, you guys have a lease for this. You didn't know this deer existed.
Yep.
That's one thing. But if you know the deer existed and you're out there, like, name your price kind of thing, it takes it completely away from me.
yeah. Because there's so many different variables. You know, say like this buck, they leased it. Like, and you may be sitting on this lease for 5 years before something like this shows up.
Yep.
And so technically, someone could say, well, they paid what the lease fees were, but they didn't know that deer was going to be there. I think what your question is, it's a true, what they're in now today's world is what they call a finder's fee.
Yeah.
Or like, if
And it's a real thing,
Yeah.
too.
Like if you come to me, you're saying, David, I own 236 acres. I have what I believe he'll be between 205 and 210. You can come hunt him, but it's going to cost you $15,000. That's happening out there.
Yeah. Oh,
you
yeah.
know, like when we were kids, you looked. There was a few guys out there in the country that maybe had 2, 3, if not once in a while, they would have 4 200-inch deer. And now, just with the amount of money being thrown around, it's feasible where guys are saying, "Oh, I've shot 6 so far. I've shot 7." But on let's go flip side of this.
Okay.
In my opinion, I think there's probably very few, but I think there's a few guys out there that have shot more 200-inch deer than anybody else, but nobody will ever know who these people actually are.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Like I caught wind of a guy and I tried getting him on the podcast, and he will not. He wants to live underground. He shot 65 bucks over 170
Yeah.
with a bow, and he's in Iowa.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So, but it's still, I mean, that body of work is, he's a 1%er.
Yeah.
In my eyes.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yep.
So, but he's just like, I knew a guy that knew him, and he told me about it. And that guy, which is my buddy, wouldn't even tell me the guy's name because that's how underground
Yeah.
he wants to be.
Yeah.
You know, so
And you can't not just love those guys, though. You know what I mean? Where it's like,
yeah, right.
I have so much respect for that.
Not a lot of those guys around anymore.
Yeah. So you want me to take a question and rip it around?
If you got one,
Yeah, I got. Well,
rip it to these guys.
I'm just going to take it right off the top and kind of go on the same subject. So we have a 207 sitting here in the middle of the table. It's going to be this or that type of question. 190 typical or 207 non-typical?
Oh, I know my answer.
Typical.
It's going typical. How about you over
Same.
there?
Typical all day.
All right.
All day.
All four of us going the same.
Honestly,
That was
it's
the
not
easy
even,
one.
it's not even a question.
Yeah.
Well, in order to get to 190 typical,
Yeah.
that frame has
Yeah.
gotta
So
be
big.
Yeah.
something.
I agree. You know, like kind of like we talked about a little bit out in the garage, that when you get that typical frame, it's just going to look so much like that framey deer. It just looks so much bigger on the wall. But there is guys out there that 200 number means something a lot to them.
Yeah.
So I think there'd be some that would take that 200 just for the number. But if you put both on the wall, man, that 190 typical would just overpower the 207 non-typical.
Yes.
So I'm going to pose a question to you guys. We've already talked about it on a previous podcast, but the question was so good. I want to ask you guys. So I got to remember what the exact, because it was a thinker. Okay. So would you guys kill a buck every year? Okay, take a buck every year, but it's only 120 or below, nothing over 120, or kill a 150 every 5 years. But the thing is you don't know that you're going to kill one every 5 years. Like, you're just hunting like normal. You just don't kill for 4 years, and then you kill a 150. You know what I mean?
Are you talking here in Michigan?
Anywhere.
Anywhere?
Travel, anywhere. You kill a 120 or lower every year, or you kill a 150 every 5 years, and that's how it is for the rest of your life. Possibly.
Yeah.
Kill every year. Because of the fact that I love hunting. I put a lot of effort into this.
100%.
And I feel like too many guys put too much credit into a number, and they get so engulfed in a number. Like even our deer camp, we used to have so much fun with people just killing, and everyone was happy. We'd get drunk and yada yada yada.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, this is Zack and I were really little.
Opening night, there
Still got drunk.
15
100%. You don't see that anymore.
No.
You don't.
But too many guys put too much weight into a number, and hunting loses kind of the fun of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like people come back, you know, to our deer camp because we process quite a few deer, and everyone's like, oh, you know, yeah, it's a good buck, blah, blah, blah. It's 118 inches, but no one's really excited.
Mm-hmm.
And
Sucks, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. So I would rather kill every single year and forget about the number, as long as I'm killing a mature deer. Like I killed the deer the first night of October. Well, I passed that deer the year prior. Same exact blind, same exact night,
This is
first
the deer we
night.
talked about in the first
Yep.
one, wasn't it?
I mean, he was, I guarantee he was at least 3.5 the year prior. He was probably 4.5, just a giant, but doesn't have genetics. Well, he showed up again. We didn't know for sure if he was going to make it through. We ended up making it through. Got hit by a car or something. Anyways, got a crack at him, shot him. A little bit of a story there, but watched him finally go down after not the greatest of shots. But deer scored 127,
Yeah.
and he has just a giant frame.
Tell me this, though, like when you walked up on that deer, were you kind of like, God, he's not as big as I thought he was?
No.
Or no, not at all?
No.
You knew exactly what he was, and
We could drive over to deer camp right now. You could look at this deer hanging up there, and you would be like, wow, he has mass, has manes, he's wide, he's just old. He has a double throat patch, which is absolutely awesome.
yep,
Just doesn't, I mean, his longest tine might be 4 inches.
Yeah.
And that's it.
that's cool.
And for the listeners, when we talk about a 120 in Michigan, you're talking about the top percentage
oh, yeah.
or the smallest percentage of bucks we have here. You know what I mean? Like 120 is the most some of these bucks ever even will see at even 4, maybe
Yes.
5.
Yeah,
I mean,
correct.
Look at that buck when you came over down to my house. That big one, the body's just giant on the wall. He's 6.5, and I don't even know if he'll touch 120. You know what I mean? Where it's
Dude,
just like,
his freaking, it almost looks like his neck is not part of his antlers.
Yeah.
Like it's just two different deer.
you know what he looks like? You guys ever seen the meme during the route where it's got the two guys and one's got a pencil neck and the other one has got no neck? That's what he looks like.
Yeah, it is too. It is. I like that answer.
Yeah, it's a good one.
What's your answer?
Oh, I'm probably going the other way.
Yeah, I knew you would. I knew exactly.
Well, in
Brothers that are totally opposite.
well, the way I look at it is okay. There's the way we trend right now. So if I'm shooting 120 or less, that's not going to be the top 10% that's running around. So that's what I like to. I mean, yeah, but then I can't kill for 5 years. Boy,
That's a possibility.
I
Yeah,
with Heath though
but-
because my thing is like, look how much time, effort, and money. You
Oh, for
put
sure.
in
For
Yeah.
sure.
every year. You know what I mean? And it's like, we all love to hunt. We get it, but racks. Let's be honest. Like, if you guys don't kill a deer this year, your family's not going to survive.
No.
Or
Yeah.
not going to not survive. So
Yeah.
it's like, I think we can all say here we love venison, but a lot of it's to do with antlers.
Absolutely.
sure.
You know
I
what I
can't
mean?
get my wife to eat it.
Antlers or the meat.
The meat.
Yeah. But you eat a lot of it, and you're
Yeah,
you know,
we eat
Yeah.
we don't eat near as much as we used to.
We're the same way.
We had venison one time at deer camp.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
Well, we had a cooler go bad, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we lost some backstraps there.
Yeah.
And then the deer I killed, I didn't find till 2 days after, and it was warm, so that was spoiled.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so here in Michigan, we don't shoot for horns anyways. We shoot age.
Yeah, correct.
Yep.
So I
Yeah.
guess why would your
I see
answer
the
stand that
conflict.
way?
I see the conflict.
I get what you're saying. I just don't think that yeah.
Yeah, this is.
Well,
this is fun.
I'll tell you how one of the things. So I leaned the same way Heath did when you asked me the question. But one of the big things was in my head. I'm thinking, tomorrow's never guaranteed, right? And as you get older, you start thinking about like I love the style of hunting I do now. Okay. But then it's like, okay, if I only have a chance to kill one in 5 years from now, I'm almost in my mid 40s. Then if I don't, then I have to wait that next 5 years, and then I'm almost going to be 50.
Yeah.
And it's like, I won't even be hunting probably the same style that I truly love.
Because your body and everything won't allow you to do that.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, I'll take the 120 or lower every year.
And I hate that I pose it as a number game, but Heath's right. It's a numbers game. The whole hunting community is, I shouldn't say the whole, because there is people out there that just don't care. I mean, come to Michigan, everybody that's listening that is the older generation, I'm sorry I'm going to piss you off right here, but the older generation is still in Michigan, brown it's down. Like, it's not, I need to kill it,
Yeah.
You know people this way too. Like, they need to kill their buck. It's not just like, oh, go shoot. I want meat, so I killed my buck. Well,
Shoot or doe.
but I'm not gonna bitch and complain because how many falls do you have left? So
Yeah.
you do you. I'm not gonna bitch and complain. I used to be the bitching and complaining guy, but I'm not gonna do that anymore.
Yeah. And
If it gets you off, I mean, if that's what gets you happy,
yeah,
then,
right.
then shoot it. That's what we're doing it for.
Yep, and that's the nice thing about hunting is as much as we can have a hunting camp and have buddies, when we go out hunting, most of the time it's an individual sport, So if Zack wants to do what he wants to do, he can. And if Heath wants to do what he wants to do, he can do that too, and it's okay. You know what I mean? Like, we
For
can
sure.
make our own decisions. I mean, that's what we're doing out there in the woods anyways.
Yeah.
He's not picking the tree I'm going to. I'm not picking your tree. You know what I mean? We're making our own damn decisions out there.
No, it's just something that I like to think about because there are days when I got to think like, the first buck I shot this year, like I said, he was like 115. That's what he scored, and it's like when I walked up on him, I was super excited, but then I'm like, man, he's just a little smaller than I actually thought he was, and I'm like, but then I was like, dumbass, this is what you're shooting. This is the second biggest deer you had on camera all year. It's like, in the first biggest deer, I was probably only an inch bigger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, why are you pissed?
Yeah.
Like, I hate that it's starting to kind of take over me. Like,
Yeah.
you've got to shoot a bigger caliber deer, and really it's not that way.
Yeah. The more I think about that question, the more I think I'll probably just shoot a little bit bigger deer than 120, just not measure them correctly.
Forget a beam.
Oh, I forgot his 2s and 3s. he's
Or
118.
saw him off. Get a break.
Just got a cordless saw in the backpack.
That looked too good. So all you had to do is rip his antlers off, skull cap him, put him in front of the vehicle, and just run over him. Whatever breaks.
Look at my deer this year. He hits by the combine. I'm like, well, he's only 100 inches. Then
well, that deer, that's why he doesn't have brows. Just ran over him, and I didn't want to look like he was that big.
Yeah, you didn't want to reset your 5 years.
He was 144, but he scored a 132, so we're good.
Yeah,
you're
good there.
Jeez, God. No, those are the questions I like. Get you thinking, especially get you stumped a little bit.
But I don't know. I feel like we're ahead of the curve. Like we put so much focus on the score 5, 6, 7 years ago.
You think?
Yeah, that's where we were. I mean, we're extremely fortunate as far as where we hunt, the caliber of deer we have. Like, we're normally not chasing 120-inch deers. By far, not our biggest deer we're chasing. We normally have better than that. We have multiples. So I feel like over the last probably 2 years, we kind of came off the number game a little bit and said, let's hunt age more than anything else. Let's focus on that.
The number game can kind of, it spoils it. You're just so focused on, I didn't hit 130.
Sure.
And yet it just takes some of the fun out too.
Yeah. It does. Yeah. 100%.
And that's where we've geared more towards, especially this year, just age.
Yeah.
All right, let's take our older deer and let's hunt them.
Yeah, I've never killed a 130-inch deer in Michigan.
The first time I ever did was this year. It took me a long time to do that.
I've been in the high 20s multiple times, but just can never break it.
We talked about how hard it is to kill a 130 in Michigan.
Few and far between.
Oh,
it's like real hard.
Yeah, they don't come every day here.
Nope.
No.
I mean,
even your old deer, like you mentioned, there's older deer that will never get there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think of the deer on my wall. The oldest deer on my wall is arguably almost one of the smallest rack-wise of shoulder-mounted deer. You know what I mean? But like Aaron said, like you look at his body. I remember the day I killed him, trying to get him out of there. It was like, I don't know if I'm going to shoot another 6.5-year-old buck again. If I had to pull him out like this, you know, it was terrible.
Yeah, and that's like one of the deer that I was number one this year. I've got so much footage of this deer in the beans, and during season I had 2 encounters with him. Then he ended up showing up late season after I was tagged out, and I got like the best trail cam picture of him. I'm like, man, he might be like 109 inches, and I'm like, but I think he was 3, maybe 4, you know, and I'm like, God dang, like if I shoot that deer, like, am I doing everything that I'm preaching a disservice? Yeah. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to preach big numbers. That's not what I'm not trying to do, but like I'm trying to preach better deer. Yeah. That's what I'm doing.
As long as you shoot age. Yeah. Doesn't matter.
Yep.
And like you mentioned, all kinds of pictures. You summer scouted that deer. So you make a plan for that deer. And regardless of what that deer scores, if you say that's, all right, I got a couple that I want, this one and this one, and I'm going to make a plan, and I'm going to try to kill, one of those. Well, I mean, it's not easy to do. No, regardless of how old, what their antler size is.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and we've all hunted out of state, and we've all hunted in Michigan, and I think we could all probably agree that hunting the 110-inch 3-year-old or 4-year-old is a lot. It's not that easy around here. You know what I mean? It's kind of equivalent to hunting like a 160 somewhere else. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's the way I look at it.
It was easier hunting this deer than a deer in Michigan.
Yeah. I mean, that's
crazy.
I mean, he never once looked up. He did what you see in
what big deer do.
Every single video.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this actually works?
That's location though too.
Like, for sure.
This deer in Michigan, he's this.
Yeah. Yeah.
if he gets that big. You know,
The back of his beams are just all wore out from rubbing on his neck.
there's no hair on his shoulders. Just
Yep.
It's true though. I mean, that's probably one of the hardest questions for someone to answer, because I mean, in reality, there is no right or correct answer for the question. Is, you know, what is the 110 in Michigan equivalent to in Kansas, you know, or Missouri or Illinois? Like, there's always that, you know, like for every 110 you find in Michigan, that's a 130 in, you know, Indiana or something like that, where it's like there is some kind of equation there, but no one can really figure out exactly what it is.
right, and to also, you just made me think of something. Like, there's some guys that I know that I'm not older guys that see people shooting the bigger antlered deer, the bigger score deer. But when those people don't shoot the bigger score deer, but they may be older, that older guy is like, well, it's not a wall mounder. You know what I mean? It's but that's what I'm trying to convey to everybody is like, there's more to that story and more to that than just inches. And I think that's what all we're trying to say.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Bernie shot that deer. What was it? That was 7.5, and he scored what?
100 inches, 103, whatever.
And he scored 7.5, and it was right around here. You know what I mean? And it's like, but if people are going to look at it at face value, we all are human. They look at it and it's like, what the fuck you shoot that deer for? You know what I mean? It's like, you don't understand how big that deer was and how many years that deer lived in Michigan.
Yeah.
The stuff
That's an
the
anomaly.
stuff that deer's seen.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a lot of does in Michigan that live that long, to be honest with you.
Well, and that's why I'm a sucker for a story. You know what I mean? I like a good story. But that's almost the bad part of when someone, say, they kill an animal and they post a single picture.
Yep.
You only see the picture. You only see, you know, the big smile behind the guys, which we all want to see, and we see the rack. But you may not see the 3 or 4 or 2 years, or maybe that guy had something going on in his life for the last 6 months, or who knows. You don't see the story behind the deer. You just see the deer and what little bit he types up, because he's not going to type up the whole story, right?
Nope.
And that's the part that it's hard, you know, because we all want to post a picture. We all do it, right? But you're only getting like a snippet of what's actually happening in that hunter's life and in that deer's life.
Right.
But
Yep. No, I agree.
I don't know. I mean, the fun part is obviously shooting, having it all come together. But like, what was it? Tuesday, we went out and we hinged, I don't know how many trees. We just took woods and laid it down, more or less. And watching that in the next couple of years, we know it work. But watching that work with our food plots and doing all that, and then killing or harvesting a deer from that they come right out of that bedding you just made onto that food plot you planted, and then have it all come together and you harvest whatever animal that is. That's what kind of makes it worth it.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
and that's the perfect example. Let's say in 5 years you do kill a deer off that plot from all that work, and he's 124, and somebody's like, oh, that only looks like a 120-inch deer. They don't see what you guys have been doing for 4 years. That's the part that I have a hard time. Where like there's such a disconnect, but it's hard to show all that too, right? I mean, maybe that's the only showing through video or something like that.
Well, and that's when I'm just like, well, fuck you guys then. You know what I mean? That's just
100%.
like,
Yeah.
And that's why I've taken the last 8 or 10 years is like, I've just taken the approach of, I'm just going to do me. You know, I'm going to be happier in hell for you guys.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, but I'm just going to do me. And, you know, if I would have shot that deer this year, I was going to kill him.
Yeah.
And he probably would have taped out at like 109.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the thing is what was cool about it is my daughter named him. We watched him in the beans constantly. I've got so much footage of him, so many trail cams. I encountered him twice, and it's just like, man, and he did like older deer things. Like he's not stupid. Like, you know what I mean? He's not just walking out and just, you know, he's smart. He's just, antlers are just not there, you know?
They're like that around here, dude. They
you'll
just,
get that,
they just are.
jobs.
Yeah.
But, all right. Excuse me. So, Jesus. Get you some. Let's get into this story because now we're 30 minutes in and everybody's like, "Why get to the big deer?" I can hear them all like, "Get to the big deer story." So where I want to start with this, you guys, is I get a lot of questions. What I mean a lot, I probably had 30 in the last half a year of how to get people that have never got a lease, like out of state, how to obtain that lease. So I want to break that down first.
It's a game.
Yeah.
It's a game in itself. We talk about the work, doing the food. That's a game. Trying to get your lease, get the one you want, and everything. So start ground zero. Whoever wants to start, like how, like first of all, why did you want to get a lease? I think we know why, but that and like where did you start? You know what I mean?
So you can start your side because you guys had a completely different lease.
Yeah, so we've always wanted a lease out of state for the simple fact that kind of what gets us off around here is being able to create a history with a deer and then, try to target that deer. Well, of course you can't, you're capped around here. You can only create so much history. You can only get them so big. So we wanted to be able to create history with bigger deer. Try to
challenge yourself a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure. So we've talked about it for years. I was talking to Wilson. We found a lease in Indiana.
How did you find it? Like where were you
base
looking?
camp. So we're on base camp. All right.
Which is you got to be you got to have like a membership or something for that.
So there's two different ways
You
to do
don't
it.
have
That's
to.
the
Right?
game.
don't have
You got the free one.
That is the
The
game.
membership,
you
you get like the first dibs kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you really got to have the membership.
Yeah, you get the
It's
good
what
stuff.
we've
Yes.
later figured out.
Here, boys.
Yeah.
Minus on
What's that,
minus on this lease.
Yeah.
What's that?
The lease that he came off of,
It sat there
no
for-
one touched.
It sat there for weeks.
We're
Yeah.
gonna get into
We're
a good
gonna-
story. Here.
Finally, I put the $300 down. We're gonna go down there and check out this place. And
So wait a second. You got to put a deposit on to go look at it.
no, you don't have to. But I'm seeing these leases that were there last night, and they're not there anymore. So
they're
I don't
mov-
want
they're
to drive.
moving.
I don't want to drive 5 hours and have that thing leased up on my way down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many years, like this Indiana lease, how many years ago was this? Like, were you able to jump right on Onyx or were you getting on like Google Earth to look at it before you made that trip down there?
It was on X, and it was all last year.
Okay, just last year.
Yeah,
Okay.
correct,
Yep.
correct. We figured out, just through the pictures and the little bit of description, we were able to narrow down exactly where it was.
Yeah.
So we were looking at it on Onyx, and it looks pretty good. It's really unique. It's a big bowl. A lot of elevation that drops into this property. It's a flat alfalfa field coming off big wood, so it looks like it's going to set up pretty decent.
How many acres?
I don't know if it was 120
Ballpark,
or
okay,
what.
yeah.
It wasn't anything huge, but no, we're not looking to spend a lot of money on it, but enough to hunt a couple guys. So we put a deposit down. We're making plans. We're going to go down there. We're going to leave Saturday morning. We're going to go down and check this place out. So I talked to the leasing agent on Friday, say, hey, we're coming down there. We're going to check this out. And he's like, well, let me contact the landowner and let her know. And well, she starts wavering. She's like, I don't know if that's going to work. We might not lease it out. So we bail. We get our $300 back. Meanwhile, Heath and Jake, of course, we're also, we're talking about this most mornings.
Yep.
At the shop.
Jake works for you guys.
Correct. So they're also looking at leases in Illinois.
So
Just you and Jake were looking at least.
so the original plan was awesome. This will work out great. Let's divide and conquer. You guys get your lease in Indiana. Check that out. We're gonna do a lease in Illinois just because I have, for whatever reason, I have the itch in Illinois.
Yep.
And this way we can kill two birds, one stone. Figure out
Maybe
what's
flip flop if you want.
what state we want to hunt maybe next year.
Yep.
Like,
Okay.
let's just kind of, we know we're going to do this for years and years to come. So let's figure this out.
Yep.
So then their lease ended up falling through.
Well,
And
I already had the green light from the old lady. So I'm going to be gone, right? So I'm like, Wilson,
we're driving somewhere.
We got free weekend.
Hell or high water.
Go.
Wait, before you started even looking at leases, it sounded like you guys had a bit of a plan. You guys kind of had 4 guys, but you're going to split up in 2. Now, obviously, you're trying to look at probably over-the-counter states. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And did you guys ever have like
in close states?
Like a drive? Did you guys ever have like a driving like hour cap in your mind? You're like, we don't really, because if we're going to do a weekend thing, we don't want anything like over 8 hours. Or was there any distance?
I think it was right around like 7. Like
7 was okay. Mm-hmm.
Like it's getting. Yeah.
I really like the idea though. If you had 4 guys instead of, I think naturally people would have said, let's take all 4 guys and put all that money together in one big piece. But the dividing into 2, that's a great idea. Great idea.
It was mine.
Yeah.
The level-headed one. The older, more mature one.
Oh, yeah. All right, so you're on the road. You're burning white lines.
So I go to Heath. I say, hey, these leases are, kind of burning up. They're... and we start looking at, all right, Indiana fell through. There's several other leases that are really close to the lease that they're looking at.
In Indiana?
No, in Illinois. Because
Okay.
that fell through. We're changing gears. So Brian and I kind of come up with a plan. We're going to look at a 73-acre lease, and we're going to look at a 38-acre lease. We're also going to look at your 157-acre lease that you were looking at.
Tell me this: why were you looking at like smaller leases?
Because they were cheap.
Okay.
And there wasn't much to them. But when you look at the aerial of it, and another thing for somebody that's looking on Basecamp, if you try to get like an inspection, they'll give you where that property's at.
Okay.
So then you can really narrow it down.
You blow it up and just kind of
Correct.
say,
And you can say,
maybe
all
this
right,
feeds 2 big
Correct.
patches
that's
of
what
timber.
we were looking at.
Sure.
So like the one lease was so basically it was a golf course that fed into a big woods with a fence line that fed to a subdivision. So we're thinking, wow, this might be a little honey hole here. So we're going to check out that one, and that was the small one, the 38 acres. And the other, the 72-acre lease, and I'll say this, Basecamp is really good about taking their photos.
Yes.
Because there was a house right there that we never would have guessed was right there.
It's actually Aaron taking their photos.
Yeah. So we wheeled down there.
They subbed me out.
Yeah.
We wheeled down there and we checked them out. And, of course, we put our deposits down. And
Right on the spot.
Right on the spot. So we talked to the leasing agent. Maybe he's full of shit. I don't know. But so we're like an hour away.
He is.
He's like, well, I got guys from Alabama that are on their way right now.
100%.
And we're like, deposit.
Just a ripping check on the checkbook.
I wish Wilson was here to defend himself, but you and Wilson are a bad combo.
Oh, nonsense.
Get the checkbook out.
Yeah.
We're putting it down now.
Just pulling scratch offs
Oh
out of the
my
center
God.
console.
The one
He's got Christmas gift cards. Do you take like Dick's gift cards? Do you take?
Have you ever heard of Jay's?
There's 364 left on the McDonald's gift card.
It adds up. It's all there.
Well,
couple empties rolling around in the back. These are worth 10 cents.
so, but also, though, what we didn't have going for us is we were extremely late to the game. Like, by the time...
What time of year was it?
July.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we
been looking
already
like
missed
now.
out on
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yep.
most of the good ones. So it's like, okay, let's go do this right now. If this is something we want to do. Everyone has the green light. We're going hell or high water. It doesn't matter.
Again, the wife is on board, so we are finding something.
We're spending, hey, remember when he said he had $7,500 earlier for the 200? That was his cap. Yeah.
But it's not like these leases. Like that 38 acres was $850. The 72 acres was $1,050.
Don't they
so it's
tell
not-
you on Basecamp how many guys you
Yes.
can hunt on it?
Correct.
Yep.
Correct.
But that's up to your discretion, though, isn't it? Or no?
No, so you have to sign in the hunters. Like, you have to register the hunters with the owner.
No shit.
Well, that's good, though. I mean, it's a good management plan.
Well, I fucking did. So
Sorry, Wilson.
we were covered.
Ironically, his name is on all of them. They show up to hunt, they're like, we don't have a Zack.
Is that a CH or a CK? So he didn't sign the hunters.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you're...
We go down there, and it is 90 degrees. It's July in Illinois. It is
Free weekend though.
I've never seen so much poison ivy in my life. Oh my god,
It's incredible.
Yeah.
like I might have seen 3 trees in that 300 acres that I walked that didn't have a poison ivy vine going up it. Yeah. I mean, it was incredible.
Just spent all his money on steroid packs.
Well, at that point,
Yeah,
at
you
that
just
point,
deal
you
with
just
that.
accept the fact that you're going to get
It
it.
just comes back covered in the cream. Wife's like, what the hell are you doing?
Wow.
What was you saying?
Wow. So the first 2 places you get poison ivy, your eyes and your junk. But so we did some extensive research when we got back at the house. So poison ivy cannot be transferred from one person to another.
It can't.
It can't. So we were at the house and we were doing quite a bit of Googling. So you want to talk about scratching an itch while you scratch an itch. Let me tell you.
There's a t-shirt. Dude, write it down. Where's your notepad, dude?
Because there's nothing better than scratching your poison ivy.
No, it feels so great.
Yeah. And then pair
There's
that
really
up,
probably nothing.
pair that up with the other thing that feels so damn great. And now you're scratching an itch while you scratch an itch.
Oh, can you imagine the Google search that the top 6 of them are just like, what the hell is this guy looking at? Just got a mirror and Google.
The old lady gets your phone when you get home and looks at the history. What are you looking at? So anyway, we got poison ivy. You're walking farms.
And it all, as we're walking, it all looks pretty decent. A lot of undergrowth. It's pretty good looking stuff. So yeah, made the 7-hour trip back and reported to Heath and Jake what we found. We hung some cameras. And
So you put a deposit on 2 pieces? Mm-hmm. A 38.
while we were down there, Heath put the deposit on the 157.
Okay.
So you put and then you and Wilson found 2 other pieces.
Correct.
So you're kind of broke up, but you're in the same area then?
Yeah, we didn't want to. We wanted some other options because it's it's not a big piece of property, and there's not that much cover on it. I mean, what is it? 130 tillable, 120 tillable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Did you guys take any cameras down there with
Oh
you?
yeah, so we had 6 cameras when we went down there, and we hung them right away.
Yep. There's cameras and cash rolling down there. When
You gotta love it. It's a good weekend.
Wow, if you're down there, you're gonna hang your cameras, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So then Jake and I went down August.
Yeah, 2 weeks later, I think.
We went down because they don't mark anything. Any existing stands, they hung.
I told you where the cameras were at.
You hung 2 trail cameras on
wait a
this one
second.
piece.
You did the deposit on yours. You did it over the phone without looking at it then?
Correct. I just took his word for it.
Okay. Oh, so you guys...
Which, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah. This is Zach's deal, actually.
Well,
Pretty much.
I give a lot of credit for. I think there would have been a lot of guys that when the Indiana piece folded, that they would have just got just cut it and maybe get back on the computer, wait for the email to come back through that there's a new listing or something. So good on you for just getting in the truck saying, listen, we still got to go find a piece. You know what I mean? We're not going to sit at home just waiting.
Sure.
Yeah. I like it. Yeah.
So we had a conversation. Like, okay, their lease kind of fell through, the one that they really wanted. What do you want to do? Are you guys okay with maybe Wilson and I jumping on this lease? So Jake and I kind of were like, yeah, that's cool. They were gonna get 2 other leases, so
they were gonna jump on the one.
The 157.
Okay, so you could all hunt.
Correct.
The same. Gotcha.
Yep. So I said, yep, that's fine. So Jake and I went down there, and it's hard to look at the property and kind of see much as far as because it's
the foliage is up and
it's all field.
Yeah. Like, sea of corn.
Really?
Yeah, it's incredible.
Tallest corn you've ever seen in your life.
And you got to walk 3 miles corn edge to get to where you want to go because you can't go straight across the field.
I walked probably quarter mile. Then I turned around and went back, got the tape measure on my truck, walked back to where I was and measured. And I measured edge of the field was 13'4".
Wow.
This is the height of the corn. It was incredible.
It is true. I mean, you go out to Iowa or Illinois, you see freaking the beans.
Nuts.
I've seen beans that were almost 6 foot tall.
Yeah, soiled as black.
Yeah.
The beans are just laying over because they're soiled.
And all the farmers run 25-year-old combines.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, these fields are yielding like crazy.
Gleaners.
What are
There's
we
just
doing?
a bunch of
There's
gleaners out there.
Yeah.
Surprised you don't get baiting charges after one of those comes through there.
The sieves are always open.
So Jake and I went through the whole property, hung another 7 cameras, something like that, marked all the good accesses, any spots that we thought a good blind would be, sent it on Onyx to everyone, which wasn't done yet.
Tell me this though. So like when you're that's a intimidating beast. There's a lot of corn, a lot of green foliage. It's hot as fuck. Like you said, there's poison ivy. I've been there. It's all of it. How are you trying to break this down and not get discouraged? Because it's easy to get discouraged when you look at something like that.
It's pretty simple. The group that we had go down, I mean, obviously I killed this deer, but wouldn't have been able to do it unless everyone actually worked together and communicated, said, okay, I'm seeing deer move over here. Like you're not seeing a big number of deer by any means.
Right.
I think the first weekend Jake went down, seen 5 deer his first set, and the other 3 sets didn't see another deer. So obviously the corn was still up, but everyone's kind of putting all the information in the pot, and you're just kind of taking what you can out of it. If you were just one person trying to tackle that piece of property, good luck. It'd be
Hard.
you'd be bouncing around too much. There's something to be said for having an intuition or knowing what you know and just sitting a certain spot repetitive.
Right,
you can bounce around a little bit inside that spot, but deer are predictable in the fact that they have a pattern. They run a certain way, and if you're just sitting there constantly moving around, that deer is also moving around, and you can be chasing a ghost.
So tell me this: you're in the summer, you're hanging cameras, both of you. It's a non-bait state. You can't put mineral. So how are you trying to get like you put mock scrapes out?
Mock scrapes and vines.
That was your whole. This is where we're gonna try to get the deer right here.
Yep.
What are you doing for your scrapes? Just opening them up, pissing in them, or are you putting anything in them?
Oh yeah. So we had some scents that we had got from. Actually, I got it from Kevin.
Troy
Got it from Troy Pottenger.
Troy Pottenger. Yep.
That's right.
Yep. I was just talking to Troy on the phone the other day. He's I love Troy.
Yeah,
He
he's a
knows
good guy.
he's known Troy for
Over a decade now.
12, 13 years or
Hey,
so.
you want to talk about a knowledgeable guy?
Oh yeah,
Boy.
you can tell.
I'm
he's
trying
just-
to get him to Michigan. And when he does, I'm bringing everybody and like, hey, because we're going to go on a tangent here for a little bit. I like Troy so much. Troy's taken me, like, we met over the phone, and now, like, him and I text and call each other quite a bit. And it's just like, hey, how's the family? How's, because his son plays for Montana State, and he's a safety, football, and so I ask him how he's doing and stuff like that. And the other day he calls me and he's like, hey, I need to talking about camera gear and filming and stuff like that, but then it got into family, and it's just like he's become a friend, I'm trying to get his ass here. Because I would like him to do a workshop, even if it's like, hey, we'll pay your way out here. I want you to go around and build some scrapes. Show us how you do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's fun to listen to.
Dude,
On the
I love
knowledge
it.
that guy
Yeah.
has.
Oh
Oh,
my
you
gosh.
can tell he's a school teacher.
Oh,
he's
yeah,
very.
yeah.
That's almost. If you listen to him talk and then like an Andy May, they're both educators, and you can get that out of them. That how well spoken, intelligent they are. Like both of those guys are kind of cut from the same cloth. Like
And he's
that.
not selfish at all. He
No,
wants
no.
everyone to be successful. He didn't send me. He sent this picture to me that he was at school. He had our shirt on, the season 22
Yeah.
shirt. He's like, I'm supporting the fall today. I'm like, hell yeah, let's go.
Yeah, great guy, man. Great guy.
So
Yeah.
anyway, you're putting up mock scrapes using Troy's juice. How did that end up working out for you?
Pretty decent.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had quite a few nice bucks on camera.
Yeah, it's
Really?
it's nothing like here though. Like you don't see the amount of deer hitting the scrapes repetitively like you do here. Like here, it's constantly you have that 60 to 100-inch deer that just literally won't leave.
Yeah.
You just have
That
200
is- they'll
photos
ban
of
it.
this deer, and you're
Yeah.
like, come on, get out of here.
Yep.
The competition is steep around here.
Well, I think that is just all due to the population too.
Yeah,
Oh, for
that's,
sure.
that's
We
what I'm
have
saying.
in-
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, there's so many. There's the deer population is so high around here that the competition for territories is that much higher here than compared to other states. That's why. What's the saying go? Like you go to Illinois, you're talking about not seeing a lot of deer. Where you go to Illinois because it's quality, not quantity type of
100%.
thing.
Yeah, I mean, we were shocked at the size of the deer and the numbers that we were getting. Like we were chasing 5 or 6 deer that were 150 or bigger on that one piece.
But there wasn't a lot of deer, though. What you're
No.
saying,
No,
Right.
God,
and
no.
coming from Michigan, being like seeing 13, 14, 15 deer a sit, possibly to going and getting or more.
Yeah, we're-
But what I'm saying, like
Yeah.
modestly,
Yeah.
And then you go down there and you're like, Jake gets skunked 3 out of 4 sits, and it's like that gets discouraging.
Yeah.
It
It's
does.
like you spend this money, it all
Yep.
starts culminating. It's like I spend this money, I drove down here away from family, and it's like, what the fuck am I doing?
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. The trip after that first trip on the way home, I was thinking to myself, well, boy, if the next trip goes like this, I don't know if I want to miss, the November 11th, 12th, and 13th here.
Yeah.
If I'm not seeing anything the last week in October, well, maybe I'll just go down twice.
Yeah. So that was going to be one of my big questions for you guys is leasing ground like this and getting ready to, you're coming off the summertime, you guys done some work down there, you're kind of rolling into hunting season. Where is your mind with that? Knowing that like, okay, you forked out money. It's hours away from home.
Young kids,
You got
families,
kids and
Yep.
families, work, all that stuff. Where like
business owners, not just work.
You went and leased ground for the opportunity to hunt something bigger than what we have in Michigan, but like you're kind of having to maybe be like a weekend warrior, or you're only chasing weather fronts. Like, where's your head with it? Are you anxious to get back, or you're like
So
you get
much.
back and you're like,
Really?
Oh, it's so much work. I don't know if I want to go back.
So I'm no regrets, but I kept saying I just want to actually see the rut. One time I want to see the rut. Here we don't see the rut very often. Like we might have a day where it's
And
like
it's a window.
Yeah,
It's like
and
2 to
that's it.
3 day window and it's over.
Yeah.
correct.
Yep.
And if you're not in the right spot, you don't see it.
Correct.
I should say it's over with the bigger caliber deer,
Yes.
older deer.
Correct.
You're going to see younger bucks chasing
Yep.
fuck, you're going to see one on October 7th. You're going to see them
Yes.
dogging.
Yeah. So getting ready to roll into season, in your mind, are you thinking like I'm gonna sit on that until almost November, or were you in your mind like thinking that I need to chase every weather front that I can down there? What was your plan kind of even before October 1 hit?
So we're kind of limited. It's not like we can just kind of pick up and say, okay,
Yeah.
the front's pushing in on Tuesday, let's go. We just don't have that luxury.
Yep.
Just with the business and stuff. So it's kind of more, hey, we can do a long weekend. We actually, Brian Wilson booked the Airbnbs, and he actually struggled finding them.
Really?
Because we
Yeah.
were late.
Yep.
Yeah. I
No
didn't
You
kidding.
start
Yes.
booking Airbnbs in August.
Yeah,
I mean, everybody's already made plans.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I didn't
so-
even think of that. Like, what are you
Yeah.
doing for
Yeah.
camper,
Yeah.
lodging? Like, I didn't
So
think
so
of
you're
stuff like
limited
that.
as is on what you can do. So you have to make that decision before. We learned a lot as far as until those crops come off, we're not going down.
Okay.
Well, and we had that inkling that it wasn't going to be very
Yes.
good that first
Well,
trip
you
we
s-
went down.
and you said
but
Jake
we
went
wanted to get
down,
our
too.
feet wet, kind of get our
Yeah.
bearings, get ready for the next 2 trips that we make, the next 2 weekend trips that we make, and we're going to have game plans, and capitalize on those.
Yeah.
What was the first trip? Did Jake go down by himself?
No.
No.
So when was the first trip you guys made? What day was that?
Oh, been the 18th?
15th?
Of October?
Something like that, yeah.
Middle of October.
Okay.
We all had the itch.
Yeah.
Eventually, you
spend
gotta
this
go.
money, you
Yeah.
gotta go.
You gotta
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Like,
Try it.
let's go. I mean, and anyone who has done it knows. Anyone who hasn't done it, you need to at least try it, because whether you're sitting there and seeing a bunch of deer or not, you have the thought of, any moment there's a giant coming out.
Nailed
At
it.
any single second.
Yep.
This could happen right now. And that's exactly what happened to me.
Yep.
But so you always have that. So what makes it fun no matter what you see.
Yeah.
Coming into the first trip, what caliber of deer are we seeing? Like regularly? Like, do we got a hit list?
I didn't see a buck.
Yeah, but
I
on
mean,
camera, we
Sorry,
were seeing, we were seeing 2.5. We were seeing
2.5?
Jake.
What's
So
that?
2.5, he's at 11 points, probably. So the reason why we call him 2.5 is the first picture we got of him wasn't very good. And I come in.
He's 2.5-year-old.
Yeah, that's how it came up.
So I come into
That's
work.
what I thought.
I come into work, and Jake's like, "Well, you see that stud we had on camera?" I'm like, "That deer looks like he's 2.5." Well, and then more pictures came in. I'm like, "Well, I'm an idiot."
He's actually 207.
Yeah. So we'll have to show you guys trail cam photos of this deer.
I mean, he's mid 50s
Yeah.
all day long.
Yep.
He's probably
He's bigger than that.
He's
Yeah.
probably in the 60s. Heavy. He's better than what the pictures show.
Yes.
And at that time, is he bigger than any, not to get too into what you guys are doing in Michigan, but is he bigger than anything you guys have
Yes.
chased? Okay. So that's the stuff that's got to be heavy on the mind.
Oh, yeah.
And the whole time we were joking, like, oh, we're just waiting to see that 200-inch deer. Like, that 200-inch deer is going to show up.
Just something you throw out.
Yeah, like,
yeah.
I mean, it's a possibility he could show up.
Yeah.
No one's holding their breath over this whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's more of a running joke.
Well, you're in the right
Well,
part of the country for
But,
it.
for sure.
But also, this is, I mean, you guys have hunted in Iowa. Wilson's hunted in Ohio and stuff like that. Jake, I don't think he's done
That's his- he
first
went-
out of
He-
state.
no,
he
he-
went to Indiana a couple times.
He went to Ohio and Kentucky with me.
But what I'm getting at is, like, this is like your guys' like first rut in the Midwest, right?
With
like,
a bow in
yes.
her hand. Yep.
yes, like you guys hunt Iowa with a gun or muzzleloader, you know. So like this is a big deal.
Oh, for sure.
The rut in the Midwest is the big leagues.
It's magical.
It's the show.
Yeah.
It's something that everybody once in their life has to experience.
When you're
with a bow.
cruising through the Midwest in anywhere from Halloween to middle of November, I would argue with anyone, you're rolling down the highway and 75% of those vehicles are guys headed
100%.
to a destination to go hunting. Like you can see the
50%.
two
It's
guys,
definitely over 50%.
two guys rolling up front. You can see their hunting gear. They got the hitch on. Where it's like it's equivalent to like all these kids going to Disney World, dude.
It really is, yeah. Okay, so you're getting good deer on camera, 2.5. So you explain to him who are the other deer? Like, what is the hit list?
Jake
look
was
like?
regular, but Jake's a young deer. He's a big, framey
Why'd you
8
name
point.
him Jake.
Because he was
Everywhere. Brian Wilson said, "This is the deer Jake's in his shoe."
Yeah. I mean, he's a mid to high 30s 8 point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's a pretty deer.
framey.
Young though.
He's 3-year-old.
I really wish you knew Jake and Wilson. You'd laugh even harder.
I mean, he's 19 inches wide. He's got nice
Good
long
deer.
tines. I mean, he's a framey deer, especially velvet boy.
Yeah.
he's the deer that.
Wow, geez, that velvet adds a lot of mass, right?
I would have shot him before season for
He's
sure.
the deer that you walk up and you go, ooh, not the deer I thought. Look, he's that.
Then we had
But the 72 acre piece, that
Yeah.
was that deer that, I mean, he might have been in the 80s.
Really?
He's a big,
big
deer.
deer.
Yeah.
As a typical,
Are
I mean,
these-
maybe 70s, he's a typical 10. But he's huge.
I mean, you hit. How wild is this? Is that literally, this first year getting into leasing and just kind of, go like the original plan fell through. So you just go with this plan B and you ended up with these properties and you're looking at deer on trail cameras that we don't ever see in Michigan. And
No.
its hunting season isn't even here yet.
oh,
So
it's yeah.
So when you say typical, I wish the Ohio deer was here because I didn't know how much a typical deer, like what it needed to look like to be 170. And then my Ohio deer last year, he had 26-inch main beams.
Mm-hmm.
He had over 13-inch G2s, but his G4s were both over 8 inches.
Yeah.
Like it takes some G4s
Oh, yeah.
to get in some beams.
Yeah.
Like you got to have some beams. So like when you say a typical in the 70s, that is an impressive.
Oh,
deer.
yeah. Big deer.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Big deer.
So what was his name?
We never named that deer.
No, we didn't.
No.
We didn't name him.
But are these regular deer? Or
No,
are
so
these-
we probably had 5 photos of that
The 170.
Yeah.
But
Now,
Jake he was just being Jake.
Click on it. It's a video. So we turned our cameras to video mode just because, like, the picture you get on the video is like what you would get in the picture.
Sure.
And then all of a sudden, they named this Rich.
This one here.
Yeah. They named this deer Rich because it looks just like Jake, only way bigger. And Jake's dad's name is Rich.
Yeah.
Rich Hahn. Rich Hahn, okay. I'm going to give you a look. Around
I
here.
just don't want to
Do you need
Pull
Wi-Fi?
up.
Do you
Yeah.
need Wi-Fi? Here, let me connect you to the Wi-Fi.
get in my Wi-Fi so we can see
So,
this.
Just so you guys can follow a little bit.
yeah, so around here, there's a guy named Rich Hahn. It's Jake Hahn, or not Rich Hahn, sorry, Rich Faber. Or are you talking about Richie Hahn?
Rich Hahn.
Okay.
Yep. So Jake's dad.
Sorry. Well, I'm not going to tell you Rich Faber Day then.
What do you mean?
But
No, Rich Faber's a legend around here.
Rich Faber's a legend. He is. He's got a day named after him. It's the day after Thanksgiving.
Correct.
And it's where everybody goes to the Black Buck Camp and they play cards and they get completely shit-faced. And it's all, they have T-shirts that have Rich Faber's
It's the
face on it.
greatest day of the year.
And then everybody knows
Yeah.
in this county that it's Rich Faber Day.
Okay.
But Jake Hahn, his dad's name's Rich as well. And so what were you saying about him?
So I was gone when they named this deer, anyways, because I already killed. But
That could have been the quickest pee that I've ever experienced.
Hey. Well, I don't know if we should go into that.
so
Hopefully you didn't piss on my floor out there.
No, I don't
this
think so.
deer has the exact same frame as the buck we called Jake.
Yeah.
Only it's significantly bigger.
Jeez.
So when you see the video, like when you click on it, it'll be the picture that we would have got on trail camera.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he turns his head and you're like, holy God.
I love that you named him Rich and Jake. That's phenomenal.
Well, how fitting is that?
Yeah. I mean, all the
so
names are
fitting.
great.
All right, Heath, you got to get back to the app. You're on Wi-Fi now. It should play.
All right.
So Rich and Jake are pretty regular. Then?
No, Rich. We didn't have many pictures
No.
of Rich. So we
2.5
had
is-
another deer called Gramps.
Okay. There's always
he's-
a Gramps.
I mean, this deer is old. Just a body on him like you wouldn't believe. Just an absolute tank.
This is the one you had encounters with, isn't it?
But he's probably, at best, he's low 40s. And, for an old deer, he was very spindly.
Yeah.
I expected when I seen him that, he'd have big bases. And
Heavy and stubby.
Yeah, it just
Yeah.
wasn't showing on camera.
Yep.
That really wasn't the case. But this deer, you want to talk about, the ass on this thing. Jeez.
Big ass guy.
Just looks like a TV tray sitting back there.
Who's the country music singer? Now that they're calling her the dump truck ass or whatever. She was on Yellowstone.
Is it Laney?
Lainey Wilson. There you go.
Yep.
You should call it Lainey.
Yeah.
That's Gramps now. Anyway, so you got Gramps. Is he pretty regular?
He's pretty regular.
2.5. And Jake.
And Jake.
Are those the three that are pretty regular?
So
you guys are
Crab
going.
Claw 10.
Crown Claw 10 showed later. He didn't show till we were down there.
Yeah, when we were hunting. But then once we were hunting, he showed up.
But you're going in with 3 deer that are pretty mature that every one of you would be very happy to kill, though, right?
Yes.
You got to be thinking that every penny you spent so far has been worth it for
Just off those
picking
pictures.
the right properties.
There's 260-inch deerish. I mean, like that's what more can you ask for?
Yeah.
Right. So that's
Not too bad. Not too bad.
Not a bad start. So total, are they not loading?
No, it's fine. We can look at them later.
Okay. So total, the one that you leased is a 157, right?
Yep.
And then you got a 38 and a what?
72.
And a 72. And how close are they to each other?
10 minutes?
10 minutes probably.
Okay, so it's not like you're not neighbors.
And the 38
really.
and the 72 are right next to each other.
Okay, gotcha. So now we're down there first weekend, and what happened the first weekend, middle of October?
So Wilson went to the 38. I went to the 72. Then Heath and Jake went to the 157.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And we seen quite a few deer numbers.
Yeah.
I seen that first sit down there. I bet you I seen 13, 14 deer, which was right up there with the most deer I'd seen. They were all does.
Yep.
But half of that cornfield next to that 72 had just come off.
Okay.
So we come down there and we do first thing we do when we get down there. We get
Crop
down there.
tour.
Yeah, it's like 4:30, so you can't hunt. You got another hour before dark, or Maybe it was later than that. I guess we had about an hour before dark.
Yep.
So we did a crop tour. So we're driving around, and I got dirty beans on the one side of the 72.
Dirty beans and dirty corn.
That's right. That's right. And the farmer's taking he's taking half the cornfield off on the other side. So that's looking pretty good. Wilson's beans are off, and part of his cornfield's off on that 38. So hopes are high.
Yeah.
Were you going into this like everybody's got like their own kind of farm? Like you and Jake were gonna take the 157 and
So I think Wilson and I starting was like, all right, let's let them figure out the 157. Let's tinker around on the 38 and 72. See what we got going here. And let's cover all the bases. And kind of see what we
cast a
collectively
wide
got.
net and just see what we drum up,
Yep.
Okay. Now, how did that weekend end up with all the sits? And did you hunt a Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
We got down there
Saturday, Sunday.
Yep.
So Saturday morning, Saturday night, Sunday morning.
So you did hunt mornings. Were the mornings fruitful at all, or were they just like
The first sit was that Saturday morning, and I seen those 14 deer.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Saturday night sit on that 72, the farmer was taking the corn off.
Yeah.
So that Massey Ferguson was just eating. Seen a few deer. I mean, the first pass with that combine, we fired it up, chased out 2 does. I'm like, let's go. He's right next to me. I'm like, all right, next pass. He's gonna jump a booner. Here we go. Yeah, 207.
Every pass, Zach just moving his tree stand a little bit closer.
No, he's on the ground. He just knocked. Just gonna move a little bit.
Just full draw. Just wait.
I think I flipped the farmer flipped me a wave every time he went by. So
Gotta love it.
friendly
Good
guy.
Yeah. Well, did you know he's just got a 20 gauge sawed off sitting right next to the gate?
Just hip shoot.
Well, and I'll say this about that farmer. So he left one strip. So he kind of did a few down and backs, and that pass right in front of me, he left. He jumped over, and he started working right there.
There you go.
And kind of right towards right towards the evening.
Yeah.
He went and did that one pass, and he pushed it right at me. Of course, there was nothing in it.
Yeah.
He sees a big one in here, and he's trying to flush him right to me, right?
He's driving at you, and he's like,
He was working hard for that case of beer that night.
a little spike comes out. He just
Did you not shoot him?
actual drops. So nothing was like you guys never saw a shooter that weekend.
No.
Nobody.
Nope. I seen quite a few does. When I said I didn't see a buck earlier, I did see a 4-point,
Yeah.
but that was
the shooters still showing up on camera, but just after dark?
Yeah, but it's middle of October and it's warm.
Yeah.
The cameras are slow.
So you guys are just scratching an itch. Just,
Yes.
you got poison ivy on the privates, and you're just scratching.
Yep.
So you're not discouraged yet.
No. And so
Just the tip.
That's the first trip down. It's the middle of October, and this deer is yet to show up there.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay, so you come back home, install some pools and stuff like that, whatever you do, and then when is the next time you're going?
the 28th.
28th.
My favorite time.
28th. He showed up on the 27th.
Okay.
Okay, so wait a second.
Yeah, let's take
What's
it back
showing
today.
up on camera?
Camera started to kind of go off.
Yeah, we're adding deer. We're adding
Yes.
what did we call that deer with the drop? He's kind of lopsided, but he's got a big drop on his weak side.
It wasn't Doopy.
Hey,
Droopy, maybe?
Droopy.
It's such a bad thing to have just so many deer you can't figure out. What
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
you call the 180 with the drop
Yeah,
time?
it
wondered
was
if
like
they-
He was
all the
going
problem.
What
He had a drop
I'm
time, so we were going to shoot him.
what I'm thinking is if they need 2 more guys to pick up on some of the lease or get more lease ground next to them, like, hey,
Let's go.
Yeah, we had
We're working on it.
The crab claw 10 showed up, and the crab claw 10's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Rich showed up.
Rich showed up, so we added
Richie Hahn made an appearance.
3, 4,
Yep.
5 pretty decent deer.
So that was between basically the weekend, whatever, the October 15th, and then the weekend of the 28th.
Yeah, the
so you're
pre-rut there.
So you're really talking probably somewhere around the 20th, the 21st, 22nd. Things were starting.
Things were starting
really-
like yep.
crops are probably off.
Yeah.
And
Then the eagerness had to really be ramping
Oh
up.
yeah,
You're like, dude, look at these.
We both arrowed deer around here. We're like, our
Tell me
cameras kind of
this.
suck around here. Let's go.
Let's go.
tell me this. So 3 of the 4 of you guys, Wilson lives downstate, down
Okay.
in southern Michigan. 3 of these guys, they work together every day. They're in the shop every morning. What are the conversations going on?
We never talk deer hunting.
No, never. I drive by the shop every day taking Peyton to school, and I'm going to start pulling in and having coffee.
You should.
You should.
We should. Coffee's hot.
Yeah.
I will.
Hey,
Monday.
You gotta think for these guys, they're probably getting customers that want their pools closed or something. And they're as the pitchers roll in, they're like, close your own damn pool. Like, we got
shit to do.
Odd office.
Well, and the beauty of of course, we all wish that pool season rolled all year round, but the beauty of it is most of the pools by beginning of November they're all closed. We were fortunate enough to have all of our pools built by the 1st of November, which is that's hasn't been the norm.
Yep.
So that was good. So we were able to, kind of jump out if
for sure.
as we needed to.
Coming into that last weekend of October, when are you guys leaving? Early Friday morning?
No,
we left the 28th.
We left a day early, didn't we?
We left the 20. We hunted the night
28th
So
would
we
have been a
left
Friday.
Yeah, so we left
Yeah.
early Friday morning.
Yeah.
But
So we could hunt Friday
Yes.
night.
Correct.
But let's rewind it a day because
Yeah, we got to rewind it a couple days.
Sorry.
He showed up right
27th
before you guys were leaving, right?
Yeah. So
27th?
yeah, he showed up the 27th.
Okay, let's take us through that week. I mean, 27th's a Thursday, so what happened when this deer showed up?
So
tell us
it
what
was
that
on.
was.
So it was on Jake's.
So we got 2 different sets of cameras. Heath
Yeah.
and I, of course, share cameras, and then Jake brought a couple cameras down.
And of course, that son of a bitch got.
Jake did?
Yeah.
Only guy I know to ever get a 200-inch deer on camera. So, anyways,
It would be
was
Jake
it-
Hahn.
huh?
It
So-
would be Jake Hahn.
Yeah. So he called, and then we obviously had a group meeting the next day.
No, we're done. Meeting now.
Yeah.
Calling a conference.
And it was
meeting.
obviously, like I mentioned earlier, we were always joking, like, well, we're just, pretty decent deer. We're waiting for 200. Show up. Well, sure as shit. All of a sudden, we're all like, whoa, this could be at minus Brad Wilson.
Well, tell us.
Wilson's like 140. Sorry, Wilson.
Tell us how he actually told you guys. How did he?
How did he break the
Yeah.
news?
So he called me. It's like, did you see the photos yet? I'm like, no, I don't have any photos. He's like, oh, they're still sending. Hold on. He's all excited. I'm like, well, what fucking deer is this?
Right.
He's like, I don't know. He's like, it's huge. It's 200-inch deer. So I seen him, and I was like, oh, my God.
He's like, I'm leaving now.
Yeah, are you kidding me? And then Jake actually ended up getting him.
Well, that
next night.
That first picture was at 2 a.m.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're like, how cool is it just to have a picture of this caliber deer? He was probably just moving through.
Yep.
Slim chance we're going to get him again.
even to get a 200-inch deer on camera, that's low percentage. I mean,
Oh, for sure.
so in all the years I've been filming for 12 years now, and all over the Midwest, we have never got a deer over 200 inches. The biggest deer we got was 196, and had him at 28 yards. And then Casey, I was filming his bow when he went to full draw, his limb cracked. You can hear it on camera; it just goes
Unbelievable.
pop.
Oh, my God.
28 yards full draw, and he's thinking, I don't know where this arrow's going to go.
Yeah.
He let up, and then sure as shit, it got dark. The deer ran off after a doe. Put the flashlight on it, crack right through his limb.
Wow.
Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's the 27th. The first picture of this deer rolls in. Group meeting. I mean,
Yeah. So I'm
First off, I
I'm
don't know
talking
why I didn't
to.
get a freaking phone
Well,
call.
I'm talking to
I didn't hear
Jake.
about it until I got to the shop.
So I'm talking to Jake on the way to the shop. I'm like, well, I'll be there in like 5 minutes.
Yes.
It's probably same with you. Like, we're gonna obviously talk about this.
We're talking face to face.
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, it was just to know. Like, obviously, you always
Sure.
have that dream. That's why we're doing this. Is,
Yeah.
go chase a giant or have the possibility of it. Then all of a sudden, it's completely different to have him.
Yeah.
Oh shit, he's actually here.
Yeah.
Like,
So what
that's
happened
a big deal.
He came through at 2 a.m. Was he hitting a scrape? What was he doing?
No,
No.
it's just that was the camera that was down on the bottom.
Yep.
And
cruising
the way this property sets up is like you have a big stand of woods to the east, you have a big stand of woods to the west, and that bottom in that cornfield is kind of the connection. That's the middle meeting ground, if you would.
Epicenter.
Yeah,
That's right. It's
so for a deer to go to from the east woods to the west woods, they got to come through our bottom.
Okay.
And that camera was just on the bottom.
And you got to be thinking too, like anybody that's serious hunter happens on the 27th. You're like, God damn, that's cool to have him, but like, he's just looking for a doe. You know?
Well, yes, but then a little bit of the flip side is like, it's times getting right, but it's not like full on like
Correct.
chaos yet. So we already know he leaves on the 28th, but you would instantly be like, we got to go now. Like the time is now.
There's a 3-day window. We've talked about it.
Yes.
When you get a deer that even daylights, there's a 3-day window, and you gotta go now.
Yep. Yeah.
So shows up. What was the conversation at the shop?
Well,
Give me your fucking phone.
Yeah. Well, we all kind of picked a number of, okay, what do we actually think this deer is? Everyone kind of threw out their guess, and we're like, there's a really good chance that we'll never probably see him, let alone arrow him.
What was the numbers you threw out?
I said 204.
I said anywhere between 190 and 210. I said, I don't know.
I mean, it hits a certain point, and you're like,
Steve's got so much trash.
Well, we talked about earlier. It's like
Yeah.
when deer get this big, you just don't.
Yeah.
You
well,
just
how
don't
often
know.
do you see a deer of that caliber?
No.
Well, then if it's just a trail camera picture too, it's like, okay, what does he have on his right side, or
Sure.
is that 2 stickers or 3 stickers? Because this deer has all that, so it would be really hard to really judge him. And then I've talked about this a lot. They said it's 2:00 in the morning. Telling you those IR pictures take away from a deer.
Oh.
I really truly believe.
Well, they showed us the picture too, and,
Yeah.
and Zach, when he got the picture, I'm gonna go on a tangent here a little bit. Zach sent me the picture, and he's like, "How old do you think this deer is?" And then first thing I said in my head is, "Zach, please don't tell me that you think this deer is young."
Well, I did think the deer was young.
Yeah.
We
I mean,
had
it looks
that-
young
Yeah.
in that first
It
picture.
does.
Yeah.
It does.
Because the neck does not meet down in the bottom of the brisket. The deer,
No.
from those pictures, that deer looks like he's 3 years
So,
old.
Yeah.
but
And
but-
you're
Body wise, but
Yeah.
I mean,
And you're talking Illinois.
yeah.
Yeah. The heart.
So we learned a lesson last year by Jared Mills, because we got pictures of Diablo, and we're like, oh, pretty decent deer, guessing them mid 60s ish.
Yeah.
The deer ended up going 180.
183.
Oh my mother of
And
God!
Jared, first thing he says is, your guys' cameras, Tacticams, do not do justice to these deer. They're so much bigger than what your cameras show.
He's a guy to listen to too.
Yeah.
If anybody knows big deer, Jared Mills knows big
Yep.
deer.
And you want to talk about a guy that is just awesome. I
Yeah,
mean, you're not going to find a
100%.
better guy than Jared Mills.
Yeah.
He's
just a
nice
good
guy.
dude.
Yep. So okay, what was Wilson's guess?
Well, so
Mid 70s.
that was
he
he
just-
might have said 180, but that was after the deer was killed.
He just goes
No,
priceless.
that's
shit
why.
on
That's why in the video Jake says I think he's over 180. That's why. That's why it was a jab.
He just goes straight, price is right, and goes $1.
Yeah.
I'm going under.
I'm winning.
So Jake guessed about 206, and I mean obviously,
I mean, you're throwing numbers out there.
Yeah.
Once from the year prior, we seen what 180 inch plus deer looks like.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, he's north of that.
Yep.
After that, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is the 27th. Did you guys? You're talking about this deer. We have a potential 200-inch deer just
Wait
show
a second
up.
though. They get this deer before they got to work on a Thursday.
Yeah.
That they're
Yeah,
leaving
it was-
the next day.
it
It's
was
like,
tough.
There's no work happening on that Thursday.
Yeah.
Guarantee.
And so now you have this deer. Did you guys already have plans to go down there on the okay? So
Yep.
no matter if this deer showed up or not, your plans were set leaving on the 28th. I mean that's part of like having families, right? Like you got to have that hard
Correct.
plan
Everything's
already.
planned.
Just so happens the day before though, just
Well,
just
and
a 200.
Jake
shows up.
got him on camera the 28th, the night.
No,
of-
so it's still the 27th because we got him
Yeah.
on camera at 2 in the
Okay.
morning.
Yep.
Yep.
So our conversations at the shop were, this is unbelievable. It's cool just to have him, but
And he's
two
on
in-
the 157.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's 2 in the morning. Slim chance that we're gonna see him again.
Sure.
And then all of a sudden, the text message rolls through at 7:45.
Like a half hour after dark or something.
No, half an hour. There's still light in the sky.
Yeah.
Like last light, this deer is out in the corn stubble in front of another camera.
Because that's before
far-
time change. That's
yeah.
before time change.
How
Yep.
far from the initial camera?
50, 70 yards.
Yeah, something like
so
that.
he's
right there.
So
He's in there.
There's like a mitten. Well, and this was an omen too.
Well, don't give the property away.
Well, there's
I'm
Yeah,
joking.
don't give
Joking.
coordinates.
no, I'm
Only
not.
to us.
I'm not.
No, it looks like
there-
Michigan.
There
Oh,
is
really?
a
Yeah.
there is a bump
That's
out in the
nice.
woods that literally looks like Michigan. So how we hunted whenever we talked about hunting the mitten,
Were they towns?
they were towns.
Fuck yes.
Yes,
Dude,
it's like
I
oh,
like it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go hunt Traverse City.
I love this.
Dude, I love it.
Oh yeah.
I like that.
So he was just coming out. You
Of
know,
Traverse
he was,
City
yeah,
going into-
no,
going into-
the camera is more like St. Joe's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Where was he heading? Like Baldwin area?
yeah.
I like that though. That's
is
sweet.
cool.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
how else do you describe
Yeah,
it?
it's
might
a great-
use
This looks
it.
like a mitten.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
I
how-
mean, some people give people shit for naming deer, but it's the easiest way to keep track of it. But like,
100%.
you know,
100%.
that was like such a great tool for you guys. Being down there, like, you guys are sitting there talking at a bar, and the locals probably like, what in the hell are these boys
It's
talking
perfect for
about?
disguising things if you're not in Michigan. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, he's St. Joe's, he's up in Alpena.
Yeah.
You know, you got a deer.
Yeah.
You got a deer down by, like, you know, Mount Pleasant, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Yeah.
good.
Cool.
Yeah.
So he shows up with daylight left.
And then
You
it was
guys
like,
you guys are packing
holy
the
shit.
truck. You
Like-
guys are packing the truck.
Yeah,
probably to go.
we're leaving in
Oh, man.
leaving in 9 hours. And he pretty well just daylighted right there.
Who was the first person to say, once we get the kids to bed, we're leaving tonight?
I wanted to. Zach's like, I can't. I'm like, my wife don't give a shit. I'm like, I can go right now.
Well, I got a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a pregnant wife. So
Oh, yeah. Yep.
One in the oven. That's hard.
that poison ivy. I'm telling you.
Kid just
You're
come up.
poison ivy.
Actually, she's due the end of April. So if we want to start doing some math here, it puts her right in that window.
Names the kid Ivy.
That's actually a good name.
That's actually a decent idea.
That's a good name.
We haven't settled on a name. I'll throw it in there.
Do you
Is
know
it
gender
girl?
yet?
Nope.
You don't know gender?
Nope.
He's got 2 girls right now.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be an Ivy.
Well, so we
That's a
changed.
stripper name. We can't go Ivy,
Yeah.
Zach.
A
Well-
stripper name.
So
Ivy's a stripper name.
Oh my god! All right, so we're gonna change subjects here. All right, so I get home.
I can tell you this though. 10 years from now, we're gonna be thinking, if it is a girl, you know, you were almost Ivy.
Real close.
All right, so speaking of stripper names, I get home from work today.
Oh God, here we go. We're present day now.
So we're struggling in our house keeping the clothes on the girls. They first thing they do is
They just run around.
they
Yeah.
run around naked, right?
Yep.
So I'm down in the basement in the jack post. So Sarah and I are sitting there. They're running around naked, right? Literally, the
Unfinished
3-year-old.
basement?
No, it's finished, but I just painted the ceilings black.
Okay.
And I painted the jack post
Yep.
black.
Yep.
Look over, and our 3-year-old is literally 6 feet in the air on the black pole. Sarah
Working
looks
her
at-
way down.
Oh, Jesus.
Wife-
was?
What? Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
What?
mean to say.
No, she was. Yeah.
Well, hold on.
Wife looks at me. She's want to talk about a good parenting.
Well, especially because kids are products of their environment, so they everything they do is learned behavior.
Correct.
Oh my
Mom and Dad,
God.
who's guilty? Who's guilty?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Dad's
It's Zach.
downstairs.
It's Zach. He's got the. Let's get on.
Okay, all right.
Back to late October.
we Jesus Pete. We were at
We gotta go to church tomorrow.
we were trying to decide who was
His Sunday mass. Jesus God.
a little extra in the donation plate.
The offering plate comes around, give a little extra. Jesus, here we go. I've got a daughter that hits home.
I got to myself, man. That's for sure. So you had asked the question of whose idea was it first to just get in the trucks and
Heath
that
wanted to go
night.
down that night.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I mean, because I understand though, like you had pre-made plans to go, and just literally the day before, you have a 200-incher daylighting.
I can tell
like
you what
that
I would have
day.
done. I would have put Peyton to sleep, and I'd have been like, "Hun, I'm leaving."
Yep.
She would have understood. I'm leaving. I want to get there, the crack of day to glass, and glass the fields. That's what I would have tried to done, and then get a game plan. I mean, we're looking at October 28th. I'm getting in about 9 a.m. and I'm sitting the rest of the day. That's my game plan.
Well, they already have stands and stuff down there.
Well,
so they could
they're
be
saddle hunters.
Oh no, okay.
They're
okay.
all mobile saddle
Okay,
hunters.
yep.
Yep. So you wanted to leave. Nobody wanted to budge.
Well, I mean, we all wanted to leave. We knew Zack couldn't, so it ended right there.
Yep.
Like, we're not going to just,
Sure.
I mean, it's just not worth it,
Yep.
right? So we kind of just waited and headed down early morning.
Get there to
Got
hunt that
there.
night.
Yeah, I think we got there at like 1:30 in the
It
afternoon.
was hotter than the gates of hell.
So driving down, you guys are got to be talking to like, are you in
Oh, yeah.
two separate trucks?
Same.
Nope.
So Wilson had to work, so he couldn't leave till like 4:00.
Oh, so he was like he had to come in
He
by
was
himself.
coming from Jackson,
Yep.
but Heath, Jake, and I are in the same truck.
So are you thinking like you're game planning the whole way down? I'm guessing like who's going in the local area?
So I took last pick. I wanted to get Jake on this deer. So let Jake have first pick. Zack set up where Jake was.
So you guys are looking to the triple team this deer. Like somebody's gonna see him or kill him tonight.
I made the decision I wasn't going to hunt the 72 acres.
Well, yeah, I mean, rightfully. But honestly, like going down, if I'm in your position, I'm like, I'm probably the last pick. Mm-hmm. Are you thinking that? Like,
No?
Yeah, no, not really. I mean, like, so Jake ended up sitting right where he had the first picture of the deer.
in the bottom.
In the bottom. So 2 days in a row, essentially, that deer did the same thing. Well, it was 2 a.m, and then at
He's
7
right
at
there
night,
somewhere.
7 at night, he must have came up from that bottom.
Yep.
So we figured he was in the catbird seat. And I was 300-400 yards away. And then Heath went to the north side.
Now, tell me this though, like, how many was there only 2 pictures, or was there a sequence of pictures?
There was 3 photos total, correct?
No, 4 photos total. So
4,
there was
okay.
3 from 2 a.m.
Yep.
and then 1 when he was coming up
Damn
out
it.
of that bottom of that field.
Because I'm thinking too, if you get a couple photos of him up in the corn stubble, is he chasing does through pictures, or is he just eating, or what's he doing? You know what I mean?
He was always the picture on the bottom. The first picture, there was a doe in the background, I think.
Was there?
Yeah.
I guess I
But
don't know.
definitely the corn stubble, he was by himself.
Yeah. I mean, just as soon as you get that second series of pictures that later that night, I mean,
Then it's like you got a chance.
Yeah.
it's
You got a real
Yeah.
good
Oh,
chance.
he's there.
He's there.
It's that part of that window.
But we had that conversation
Yeah.
on the way down.
There's
like,
a doe.
Those are.
Yeah, we had that conversation on the way down. Like, it'd just be really cool if somebody laid their eyes on him.
Just
Yeah.
seeing him.
Yeah.
Just seeing a deer of that caliber, how cool would that be?
Yeah. And then just, sometimes some things are just kind of meant to be. And for me, if I was rolling down in that truck, part of that group, I would almost have this mindset where it's like, we had this trip planned and this deer literally shows up the day before. Like, one of us is going to get a chance.
Well-
like, it's like some things are just meant to be that way.
As weird as it sounds, the big man's got a plan for this whole thing, and because we're talking about a piece of property that's the state of Michigan. Mm-hmm.
There you go.
We've got towns that you guys are naming. Like, as weird as that sounds, and I know it's probably pretty weird, but there was a plan for this
Sure.
whole thing. Looking back at it, I didn't know that part of the whole deal.
Yeah.
And so okay, you pick second, Zach, and where'd you pick? Like, what was your whole train of thought?
So the mitten was kind of in the middle, on the south side. So my thinking was, Wilson had set stand and sticks, or set some sticks up in a tree on the west side of the south end, and I knew that he was going to come back and hunt that, so I wanted to go to the east side. So essentially, covering those deer coming off of the neighbor's set aside grass and off that big woods over there. Plus that bottom connects that whole south end, so he could be anywhere in through.
So you guys, your property is like just a big bottom.
Yeah, big bottom
Yeah.
with fence lines that kind of border some big timber from the neighbors.
Okay.
But like where Zack was set up was arguably the best spot on there. I
Really?
mean, like, so I put a lot into looking at what was already there. Within probably 60 yards of Zack, there was 3 other tree stands that were previously there.
On this on your property?
The neighbors.
The neighbors.
So
like
the guy,
right there.
the neighbor to that east side is also the guy that's hunted it since '72.
Yep.
Oh wow.
Okay.
And this was his first year not hunting it.
Yeah.
The property you're hunting.
Correct. And he had over there, he had 2 different sets, like right next to each other for 2 different wins. So we knew that's
was
a
it.
pretty good
Yeah.
spot. He's
Yep.
covering this trail here. So essentially, I sat in front of that trail. You know, I was still 100 yards away from those sets, but you're all on the same thick fence line.
Yeah.
Do you know why this guy wasn't hunting this for the first time? And
The landowner wanted to just
Lease it.
Lease it out.
so
That's
he
it.
probably
No-
never
no
paid.
rhyme or
That's
reason.
probably
Yeah, he called him in August like he does every year. And
just
he
gets
was,
permission.
yeah, and we talked to him on the road.
Yeah.
Friendly guy.
Yeah. You got to think if he been hunting that piece since '72, that he's in his mind he's like, I'm not going to pay to hunt that.
No.
No,
Been
but-
hunting
No,
for
why-
so
why
long.
would
you had to have asked him like, what have you killed off here?
No, actually, we never did.
Really?
So he said he's a meat hunter, which we kind of all chuckled.
Right.
No way.
Not this
We
area.
don't
Yeah.
need hunters.
Yeah, there's no way.
Yeah.
Well, last year there was
Yeah, the year prior they were hunting mid 90s with a big drop that was killed 3/4 of a mile away. So there's some, there's some.
They're in there.
Yeah, for sure.
they're there.
Okay, so then you put, Jake went to the epicenter. He went to where the first picture was, rightfully so. Like, hey, he was here,
Yep.
thick cover.
Yeah.
It's the bottom. He's going to come back here.
Yep.
Heath, what are you thinking then?
So we had 2 guys on the south side. There's a road that divides the property. So I sat 3/4 mile away.
So you're not even on the same, side of the road that this
no,
deer was on.
No, I'm on the north side. And after the fact, I told Brian Wilson, I'm like, this over here is way too good. I'm the only one that's ever sat the north side up to this. I'm like, it just feels like something is here.
Break it down a little bit. Why does it feel so good?
So what it is it is a big fence line that runs into.
Well, start from the
Basically-
road. Start from the road. So you
So
have
it's all corn, like
with 2 heavy fence lines that come down the
Correct.
east edge and the west edge. There's a fence line, maybe 250 yards off the road that kind of comes north and south,
Connects them.
connects them, and then the field continues back, and then it's quite a bit of corn stubble.
probably close to 300, 400 yards again.
Okay.
And then there's a fence line that runs damn near straight east and west, maybe on a little bit of an angle. Runs into a big, big pond with just nasty habitat all the way around it.
And it's dry down there.
Yes.
So there's more habitat than what there is in other years.
Sure.
Because that water has dried up. The grasses are really tall.
Yep.
So the one fence line kind of runs on an angle into it, and then there's another fence line that almost makes like a bird's mouth, if you will, and that one runs true east to west, and in between is all CRP. That's all it is. Well, when we went down there to scout it, the CRP just looks like it's straight poison ivy. Well, it's all mowed now, and so that first night I was sitting there in a different set. The farmer on the other side was taking all the corn off. So I seen a bunch of deer.
And this is that Friday of the second trip down.
Yep.
Correct.
Yep.
Yep. So kind of ruining the hunt a little bit, but also kind of pushing the deer closer to me.
Sure.
He's not getting the whole field off by the time I'm done hunting.
Yeah.
But I could hear a bunch of deer in the corn and whatnot. Just going to get way too dark, way too quick. Nothing's going to really come out. Seen a decent, messed up 7-point deer never seen before. Seen 5, 6, 7 does, something like that. But just knew that probably tomorrow is going to be the day that
Yeah, it's gonna.
I'm going to figure out what's on the north side.
Yeah.
Finally, because that's the only spot I sat the weekend prior.
Yeah, it's going to progressively get better.
Correct.
Each day you guys are down there,
Correct.
and the more that farmer works, the more hours he puts in, the less cover those deer are going to have around
For
there.
sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
Now, when I listen to how that farm is split, and looking back at it now, would you guys say, like, does it feel like it hunts bigger than what it actually is, or does it actually feel like it, even though it's a, say a 150, but does it feel smaller than that? Kind of with like that road dividing it like that.
I think
bigger.
it hunts for having like 30 acres of cover.
Yeah.
It hunts big for having 30 acres
Yeah.
cover.
So that's good.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
and that's kind of what I was wondering, when you were talking about how the neighbors plays into it also. We're like, if you're looking at it on the map, but if you expand, you zoom out and look at it and you just say, yeah, this is why it hunts bigger, because we have this to the east, this to the west.
Correct.
Things
And
that,
it's just connection
yeah,
point.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you just got deer moving through there.
Yeah, and I think a lot of guys sometimes overlook that part of what's going on around just the property they have permission on. It's, well, I only have a 38, but, well, what's going on outside that 38,
Correct.
because they're going to they don't know boundaries. They're going to still use the same terrain and the same properties, the whole time.
and we have fence lines that we never even sat that
Yep.
would probably
Or the road funnel.
Yeah.
in the right time,
Yeah.
in rut,
Yeah.
it'd be phenomenal.
Yeah.
We had a camera on, it's a creek bottom that runs up and it crosses the road. Mm-hmm. And we had a camera right up next to the road.
Okay.
And that was arguably our most productive camera.
Really?
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah.
ever sat there.
Yeah.
But there's houses like right on the other side of the creek bottom.
Yeah.
And there's like a house right next to that
It's
camera.
amazing what houses and structures will do to the psyche.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
especially coming from Michigan, it's like there's no way there's gonna be a deer
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
No way.
Well, and you got to think these whitetails, they live out there, so
100%.
they get used to those barns and houses. But I'm guessing, when you talk about the road, well, you said the funnel right in it, where it's like they're moving with the cover, or the terrain is exactly what they're doing.
Correct. Just to give you reference there.
Oh yeah.
So you see the road.
Oh, yeah,
And
like-
then you
yeah.
go up
Yep.
to the north, and
Oh,
you
yeah.
can kind of see what I was talking about with the bird's mouth.
Oh yeah.
Where's he looking
Up in here. So he's talking about on the north side of this road. So the night of the 28th you're talking about, right? Is
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. So
Yep.
the farmer's working up here taking corn off as the night
Yep.
goes on. But when you're looking at that map,
Where was he sitting at? Point to me.
up in here in the fence rows.
Okay, yeah, yep.
But when you look at this map, naturally it's easy to go, well, there's not much there.
That's my
But when I
favorite
look
though,
at the
right
map,
there.
I instantly
That's-
go, if they want to move from this square mile to this square mile and stay inside cover, where do they have to go?
I don't even want to show up and look at that.
Yeah,
Like,
I see it.
and then that there.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Keep it away from the
It's
GoPros.
the best 38 acres in Illinois. No, I shouldn't say that. It looks like
It looks great.
It literally looks like somebody threw a bomb on a piece of property and there's nothing left. But what's
so-
north and south of it is like
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
But so that's the crazy part is, like we hit earlier, this lease just sat there and sat there and sat there, and finally we're like, well, screw it, let's go look at it.
Yep.
And that's what they did, and
And
it's not like it was
enough
overwhelming.
pieces around there that, okay, let's try that 157, let's try that 38, let's try that 72. Between the three of them, we should be able to make something happen.
Well,
Yeah.
and the thing is too, like, because I've looked on Basecamp a lot for a lease. You're looking for those spider webs. You're looking for those, those
looking-
spines. You're
Yep.
looking for the timber with the right amount of ag or the set aside or something like that. You're looking for that. When you look at that, every guy clicked past that.
Correct.
Yep.
And a 206 came off of it.
Yeah, every guy.
207.
Oh,
Yeah, good correction.
he's on that he's always, just always an inch short.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, every guy's clicking past it.
Correct.
And the neighbor that's been hunting it from 72, just thank God every guy is just clicking past it.
Oh my gosh.
so I reach out to the farmer because he owns. I talked to him. He's super nice.
When did you reach out to him?
Oh, I've talked to him probably 6, 7, 8 times.
Before you went down?
Yep,
Okay,
before I
yep.
went down, but this is after. Hey, blah, blah, blah. Had a great time. He's super easy to work with. Not that he really can't be.
Yep.
But he has another piece that we really, really, really want. And so I reached out to him on it. And I said very, very minimal. And he was like, oh, I know what piece you're talking about. It's like, it's the best piece around here by far. And he said, I can't lease that piece. It's complicated. I'm not able to lease that piece right now. He said, check back with me. I'm like, now I really want that piece.
Oh boy.
Okay,
Okay.
you are right though about the whole, the properties that look like an A+ property. That's what everyone wants, right?
Oh, for sure.
And
But you're also going to pay
You're gonna
top
pay.
dollar for it.
Cover.
Well,
Yeah.
and this deer is an example right here. A lot of people ask me, what's your favorite time to hunt? It's that last week of October. Like this, you never knew this deer existed until the last week of October.
Correct.
And what brought him here was probably a little bit of food, but does brought him here. I mean, we can probably all agree to that. Is you had a hot doe or the first doe that was coming into heat, and that's what showed him up. Showed up.
Well, and it's amazing, how much corn.
Get that a little closer to your mouth.
It's amazing how much corn these farmers got down in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It was a sea
Oh
of corn.
God, yeah.
It's incredible.
And we came back down 2 weeks later, and it was gone.
Yeah.
And it
So
helped
you're
it was
talking
dry.
thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of acres.
Yeah.
It helped it was dry because
Oh, for
here
sure.
it was not.
Yeah.
I mean, even up through gun season, through Thanksgiving, there was 1,200 acres of standing corn around here.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, but you just watch like all their old equipment run, and the shit don't break. It just goes and goes and goes and goes, and it's incredible to
Yeah.
watch.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, so where'd we leave off? The
So-
28th.
So we're still the 28th. He's at the north side. Jake's in the Minton. I'm over there by the neighbor.
That brings up a question here. What were you when you go to your stand, Heath? What do you think of that night? There's got to be a little bit of like, there's no fucking way I'm going to see this deer.
So before I left the last weekend, I packed up. I kind of did like a little horseshoe around like that thick pond I was telling you about. And I'm just thinking in my head, and like, obviously I've had 2 weeks to think about this. There's something there. I know there's something there. It's just whether or not I can sit up in the right spot and figure out how to bring this deer out. I've hunted out of
But
state.
you didn't know this deer was here. Bring
No,
a
but
deer,
a deer
out.
out.
Yeah, yep.
Your gut was telling you there was something
Correct.
there. Yeah.
Had absolutely no idea that this was there. Like I check my phone all the time because I'm waiting for Jake or Zack or Wilson to arrow this deer or see this deer or something. But I've hunted out of state enough to know that calls are extremely effective. Unlike here in Michigan, you can have a little success, but it's nothing like out of state. I mean, when I was in Ohio with a bow in my hand, I mean, I can't tell you how many bucks I called in. Never got a shot, but I called in 5 probably decent deer that were 120 or bigger in a week period.
Yep.
Granted, it was literally you couldn't time up the rut any better
You've
than that. But
you've probably never done 5 here in Michigan in your life.
oh no,
Yeah.
no, not even close. So I knew as long as you're in the ballpark and they can hear you, you're gonna have good chance. We learned a lot. We know that if we like a decoy, for example, we talked about that.
Be phenomenal.
You might kill every
me a
single deer in that
decoy.
county.
I love a decoy here. I've had a decoy work 3 times here.
And
Awesome.
that's something we've never really tried here much. I mean, you still have a decoy. You have 2 decoys.
Shoved up underneath the pine tree.
Yeah, for the last 10
Last
years.
time I used it.
Dude, I have a Scarface, Primo Scarface decoy.
I have the same decoy.
I take the one antler off, the bigger, it's got a drop tine in it. I take that antler off. I put one ear forward and one ear back. I've had it work 3 times. Come right in, and I've killed deer on it here.
So my trouble with decoys around here is now granted
The does?
we've gotten
Yes.
so much better with the doe population, but when I was running decoys, we had it either worked really well or it just blew up.
Yep. Well, and that's the thing, like, ag country around here. It's nice to use a decoy, but I will agree if and that's the game you play. It's like, are the does going to come out first? When do you use it? It's always like this or that, or what do you do? I've only used a decoy a couple times. More times than not, it's worked for me here. But I don't use it all the time. But a lot of times in the last 12 years, I haven't been able to hunt the rut, with my job and everything. I'm usually filming, but dude, fucking love a decoy. Love a decoy. I put a little sweet sauce underneath of his legs. I hate carrying him out there.
Yeah.
It's a bitch carrying him out there, but I don't know, man. It's something that can be very powerful, and it took a little bit playing with, but a buddy of mine, Matt Bowman, he uses a lot of decoys a lot here, and he's killed some good deer around here, but he was the one that told me, put an ear forward, put an ear back, so they're kind of like, they're not aggressive. It's not like intimidating. It's like almost like
they have a
what's
little
going
bit.
on?
They have a little bit of attitude, but not too much.
Exactly. It's not, because how many times have you seen a deer right here in Michigan that he's of good age, or he's just ears pinned back? I'm coming in sidestepping. Not many times. You know what I mean? He looks like a different animal because his hair is standing straight up, and he looks like he's, a darker brown than he should be. Not many times. So you guys learn decoys and calling and everything now going forward.
And that was just, of course, from our experience, seeing how they move, but also the laundromat. We talked to 3 different out-of-state hunters from the laundromat, and they're like, oh, my God, decoys. We've been down here for 26 years, and we've killed 40 deer over decoys between our group.
Really?
There's a laundromat in a town in Kansas that I've spent a lot of time at, and I've talked to a lot of hunters at.
Yeah.
I've learned a lot of things from that laundromat.
For sure.
Really?
Go there on a wet morning.
No,
go there on a wet morning at about 11 o'clock. It's nothing but hunters.
Yeah.
You got a pocket full of quarters and a lot of knowledge to gain.
Hey,
I'm telling you.
That's the stuff you got to look for, though. The out of the box information.
The other one is I've learned a lot from a road grader, a county road grader.
Yep.
And
Mailman?
a mailman.
Yeah. Yep. So years and years ago, I was down in Ohio, and the most information I had found from someone was a deputy, just about where he would talk about where some of the biggest deer were killed that by a vehicle auto accident, and he could pretty much point right to a map sections, between 2 square miles where most of the deer would be getting hit, and then he'd get his phone out and be like, "Yeah, look at this roadkill," and be like, "Oh yeah," and it'd show you right where it's.
We might have to cut this section out because I think we just gave everybody the equation of how to find big deer.
Yeah,
those 3 things. Find them. And it's not a male guy; it's a male lady. There've always been male ladies for me.
Yep.
Guys don't know what they're talking about.
Yep.
All right. So the day's here, the 28th. So there's got to be a thought in your head though. Like yes, you scouted this. Hopes are high. The deer's in the area. You know it's there, but there's got to be something that's like, those guys are going to kill this deer. I'm not going to kill this deer.
100%. That's why. That is literally why Jake was hunting where he was. Like, I want him to get this deer right now.
And a little bit had to play because it was on his camera, right? I mean, he rightfully should have the first pick, correct? Mm-hmm.
That, and there's no better dude than Jake.
Yeah.
For sure.
That is true. Jake's a good cat.
So, he had first option. Zack had second option. And I was just kind of stuck back to the north side again. Yep. Same spot that I hunted.
I'll go over to my spot over here and just...
Which, I mean, I felt like it was almost deemed like, okay, no one touches the north. He's just going to sit over there and just see a 6-point, a couple does, and that's fine, whatever.
Yeah. They were it was, how like people gar hole like a kid at deer camp. They said, "Oh, just go put him back behind the camp." That's what they were doing with you. Little did they know what was really happening.
Yeah, well, I had no idea what was about to unfold, but I knew I'd see a good deer. Mm-hmm. It's just whether or not they're going to skirt, because I have no idea how they move. Like, I watched the last set, the weekend prior, I watched them use this little funnel coming out, and that's kind of where I'm set up, and I'll show you a video of me hanging in the tree from that spot.
Could you get close enough to that funnel? Because there's not a lot of trees around there.
So what I had working for me is when they mowed the CRP, there's a tractor trail.
Who's mowing the CRP?
Farmer has to mow the CRP.
Oh,
Every
it's in
year.
a program?
It's in a
Correct.
program.
Okay, okay.
So he takes it through what we named the Northeast Funnel Line. It's a stupid name, I get it, but it's what we came up with. He drives a tractor through this. Well, there's a 6-foot deep washout that he tried to take his tractor through, got buried, ended up being pulled out, and he went through this fence row and just baha'd a trail through this fence row. Well, where am I sitting? On that trail now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the weekend prior, I watched that little 4-point and 4 or 5 different does all come right down that trail. Like, well, when I come back, I know exactly where I'm going to be sitting.
Yep.
Path of least resistance.
Correct.
They're going to be, yep.
They're lazy. So that's kind of where I sat up. It was close enough. I mean, I was only, I don't know, maybe 40 yards from that pond, roughly. It's pretty good with no matter what wind I had. I might have a couple of does catch me behind, but they never did. I don't think they really care about
Are you
sun.
thinking, I'm trying to picture how this is sitting. So are you looking at this pond bottom?
No.
No? 'Cause
I'm overlooking the CRP field.
Okay.
It's really hard to describe. I can show you on the map, kind of, or you can see the video of me actually hanging, and you'll have a good understanding of how it kind of played out then. I am sitting there, and I have the cornfield to my back, or to
Stubble.
to my right, I guess. I can shoot the edge. To my left, I have the big CRP field, and then
That's cut.
Yep, and then also the trail.
Yep.
Kind of what happened was, or do you want to jump to that day?
So,
I
up
think
to you.
so.
yeah, because we rolled through the 28th, and no one
20th
on
has
the-
been beat to death here.
Yeah,
So
yeah. We rolled through that day. No one's seen this
what did
deer.
everybody see that night?
So
Oh
I
yeah,
had-
so you had an awesome hunt.
So I had
That's when you saw
that's
Gramps,
the-
wasn't it?
I seen Jake came out, and I had Jake at 50 yards. Then I had Gramps at like 48 yards, and then I had 2.5 that horseshoe.
You see every one of the shooters.
I
that
seen 3 pretty nice bucks.
Yeah.
And I was drawn back twice on 2.5. Just couldn't get. I didn't have a great shot at him. Wrapped all the way around the tree. Also in the back of my mind, I know I have this giant deer here, and we don't have a lot of cover. I don't want to put a marginal shot on a deer and chase this deer
Blow.
out either. It's Friday.
Whole weekend.
It was 40 quarter and part away. But phenomenal hunt.
Yeah.
How far
for
can
sure.
you see from your location?
Long ways. Long ways.
Okay, so you're coming along the ground now. Jake, how far can he see? He's down the bottom.
Not very.
So what did he see?
I think he
Seen a few does
yeah.
in scrub.
4 or 5 does and a
Scrub.
yep.
Yeah.
So what's his morale looking like? Like, is he just like?
I feel like he hit a point in time where he's like, well, Illinois just hates me.
Everybody else was seeing
Yeah.
some decent deer, and he didn't.
Well, the first
it.
weekend he came down, he saw only deer 1 out of 4 sits,
Yep.
and now he's like, I
It-
can see the pressures. The self-inflicted pressure's got to be mounting on him.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, that not only that is, and he's getting first pick. You know what I mean? Where he's like,
Yeah.
he's getting the first round draft pick. You know?
Sometimes it just don't work.
We're
Yeah.
getting Jared Goff right off the
Yeah.
bat, right? Like, can we
Yeah.
can we agree with that?
I
I love
I,
Jared
I
Goff.
love Jared Goff.
Let's go Lions. Drinking Kool-Aid like you wouldn't believe.
Oh,
Here we go.
I mean, I've got IVs in my Let's freaking go.
Yeah. But then you got so he's feeling like he may guard hold himself with pick number 1.
Yeah.
Then Zach's over here in the chips going,
Did he pick
It's
Baker
only-
Mayfield or Johnny Manziel or
oh, it's
I mean,
1A, 1B.
it's hard to say because like he loved that spot. Like he to this day will say someone will kill a giant within that 40 to 50 yard bubble
they
I was
will.
just in.
Jake knows enough.
He was
they
just
will kill.
he was 2 weeks off on that.
Yes.
bottom.
Yeah. But I mean, so after darkness sits in on the 28th, what are you thinking that night? Like, are you, in your mind after that kind of hunt, you almost have to be thinking that it's just a matter of time.
100%.
Like,
Yeah, for
just
sure.
a matter of time.
So you're probably going back next morning.
Yeah, I'm like he just eluded me.
Yeah. Did you just leave your stuff right in there that night?
For sure.
You had it back the next morning.
Yep.
Yeah. But now, did you leave your stuff up there on the north
What did
end
you see,
that
Heath?
night?
I seen a couple does, one scrub.
Anything close?
Yes and no. I mean, nothing that was within 70 yards of me. But I had the combine. The farmer was taking all.
Neighbors?
Yep.
Yep.
Was taking all the corn off.
So you may have thought that may have affected you a little bit.
So my thought process was, I'm going to figure out on Saturday what is all over here. Mm-hmm. I will know the north side because I have enough sits on it. What is here? All that corn's gonna be gone. The deer.
And you can see a long way too, right?
Yeah, I mean behind me I can see 500 yards.
Oh yeah.
Then it's starting to get that time. You kind of see flickers of it here and there.
Yep.
Across where the guy was taking the corn off, it's pretty thick fence row blocking me, so I can see some deer, but they're constantly moving, so you don't really know what you're seeing. You see a flash here and there. That's about it. But there was a couple deer out in the CRP field, like I figured they would be.
Did you ever get discouraged after that? Like, just like, man, something's got to break here.
No.
Well, it was only that was day one. In that
I know,
trip,
but you think the culmination of like the money spent, the away from the family, it's like this has to work. We've got this 200-inch deer on camera. It's like,
but I'm not hunting that deer.
He believes this deer
you're out of the game.
I'm not hunting that deer.
Yeah. He picked that north side, and he believes this deer is south of that road.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Well, I understand that, but it's like, I mean, God.
I mean, part of you was like, boy, it'd be fun to be in the game. But in the same sense, I just love hanging from a tree. I love being out there. I hate being away from my family, but
it's camaraderie of the guys that we're with. We're having fun regardless,
We come from
right?
we come from, I don't care who you are out there, the most hunting rich state there is, bar none. I don't care if you're from PA or Wisconsin. Nothing beats Michigan.
No, and I know that first night we're gonna go back and we're gonna have steaks because that's what Zach's gonna want to have no matter what.
Walmart ribeyes,
tomahawks.
They were damn good.
They were pretty good. They were pretty good.
The Walmart ribeyes, I love that. Yeah,
just 2-inch cut.
The tomahawk just sticking out the front of the grill. Don't even open the lid to turn them. Just flip them.
Gotta love it.
Yeah, but no, you think about that. The thought of it getting discouraged, but you're knocking on Halloween. You're in the heart of the Midwest. There's not much discouragement from me thinking I'm in it.
Well,
Tell me this though: when was the full moon?
It's a great
I
question.
can't remember what it was
I don't
because
know.
that played a factor. Did that play a factor in that? Do you ever remember that? Because the full moon,
was
the full moon, I want to say was late October.
No, it was. I want to say it was 2 weeks later.
Was it?
Because when we were down there for that third trip and there was snow on the ground, you could see early.
Yeah. So did you leave your stuff? You didn't leave your stuff. You left your stuff in your tree the night of the 28th?
Yes.
Rolling into the 29th?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. So it sounds like everyone in camp that day left all their stuff. Everyone kind of felt good about what they had. And it's only night one. And then, rolling into the next. And you guys probably had full intentions of hunting the next morning or no?
Yes.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Why don't you roll us right into that next morning of the 29th then?
Okay, so hang on. Full moon was November 8th.
Okay.
So it was later.
Yep.
So I sat up in the same tree we nicknamed the 207 tree. And
Now.
Yes, now, not before.
Before it was the 107-inch tree.
Yeah. Had 2 little bucks. Read script, go right down.
Yep.
Had probably 4 does, probably about 9:30. Had I don't know if it was Jake or it was a nice looking 8-point.
Shooter buck.
Yeah, probably. Run 400 plus yards as far as I could see. Come out of, looked like it came from the south side. Run all the way across open field on 3 does and into the swale on the opposite side that leads into that pond. Never to be seen again, but when you see little things like that, you're like, okay, we're there.
We're in there. Yep.
So I knew calls and everything that were going to be extremely effective coming up. Didn't really get anything when I did a sequence. Nothing really responded at that point in time. And then we didn't sit all day. We climbed down at, I don't know,
What'd you
11
see
or
that
so.
morning?
I don't think I seen much.
What'd Jake see? Did he go
I don't
back to the
think
same
Jake
spot?
went back to the same spot. I don't think I seen much.
I mean, you
Wilson-
got to ride the whole of those
Wilson,
spots.
yeah,
You got
Wilson,
to.
yeah, because there's
So
not
Wilson
many
was
spots.
there too.
So there's only so many corners.
Yep.
And
Yep.
so
Where'd Wilson go that morning? Because that was the first
he went
morning.
to that preset that he was in.
What, and he didn't see much?
Or no, he went to the 38 acres.
That's my blind.
Okay.
Or my tree.
He went to the
Yep.
38
Just so you
acres.
have an idea.
And he didn't see
And the
much?
farmer was digging up the field right behind him.
Great cover.
So he didn't see anything.
Great cover up in that
Yeah.
tree. Yeah.
And this is the tree
But-
that you were in the night prior as
Correct.
well,
And
right?
yep, same one I killed out of. But I couldn't have been more than 15, 16
Yeah.
foot because
Where's
I had
the
to be able to
pond
shoot the
from
edge.
here?
The pond from there.
Is it like over here, over here?
It's that way. It's
Okay,
to
so the
your
pond's
west.
over this way. Okay.
Yep. It's a video if you hit play.
So that's the tree. Then you hunted that tree on the 28th, left the stuff there, hunted it the morning of the 29th,
Yep.
and still
I wanted to sit it at night.
Yeah, you've seen good
So-
enough movement that morning to
Well-
keep
well,
your stuff
you
in there.
remember the lucky rabbit's foot in your pocket walking up the 29th? He literally had a fawn
Yeah. So
follow him 500 yards.
I kid you not.
Like 80 yards behind him. Followed him the whole way up to the truck.
I do want to say, though,
literally wouldn't leave me alone.
after watching the video of the tree where Heath's in, I do want to say, I want to paint a picture here. So there's probably 40 yards of CRP, would you say, until it hits the corn?
Well, so there's CRP on both sides of me, actually.
Right, but like
But
you're,
yes,
you're in a
there's-
tree. There's like 40 yards of
And then
green
hits-
cut CRP.
Correct. Then it hits
and
stubble.
then it hits corn stubble for,
Correct.
for days.
Yep.
Correct.
It looks like.
Which made it extremely hard to scout because when Jake and I were there, it poured rain.
Sure.
And so you want to be super wet at 8 o'clock in the morning and just chafe really bad the rest of the day.
Chafing's terrible.
So we did that.
That's
but
a question.
It's
Would you
really
rather be
hard.
chafed or poison ivy?
Poison ivy.
Chafed on the nipples?
Poison ivy.
Can you guys hear that? Zack's taking a leak.
So right here.
The sound of his piss hitting the urinal sounds feminine.
This fawn
Just excited to
literally
see
followed me for
She's running after you.
400 or 500 yards, almost up to the truck.
This is after the morning hunt.
Yeah, like it was literally got to the point where it was probably 15 yards from me at most.
And this corn had just been taken off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh, that's
like the
fresh
day
you
before.
take. That's
Yeah.
a gleaner field.
she
too.
just wanted a friend.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Try to show everybody. Oh shit! There's your kids.
Don't get any tip pics.
So here's. Let's see if you can see that in the. So, okay, so you hunt the morning of the 29th. This fawn follows you. So then, what are you thinking? You're going to go back to that stand?
Yep, we're gonna take a.
Jake's going to go back. Zach's going to go back. Wilson's going to go back. You're going to kind of ride the hole in every.
We're gonna figure it out.
I mean, you can't leave.
No, for sure.
Because you've
For
got
sure.
3 shooters
Yeah.
that you've seen less than 24 hours ago.
Now, I got a question. The 28th going in the 29th, did you guys have the same wind directions both days?
yes, it was. Well, no,
It's
it
close.
switched. It was northwest.
Northeast.
No, northwest. I killed on northeast.
Could have been. But I was dumping the same wind both days.
Okay.
But
You're
it was
kind of
my
in the
train
bottom,
feed.
though.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
So if you were,
the wind wasn't 100% true.
okay, so if you were getting a little change, was the change for you better or was it the change for
Worse.
you worse? Okay.
Worse from what I seen earlier.
Yeah, like at that moment you thought it was worse.
Yeah, oh, I mean it's hard because you're never really seeing enough deer to really know
Like, am I
exactly
doing the right
how.
thing?
Yes,
Yeah,
correct.
Yep.
You know, you're walking up and saying, "Well, that tree looks like it should be in a good spot.
Yep.
I'm gonna go hang a bang here."
Yep.
You know, and
But
that's
you
kind of
also
the
don't
cool
know where the
part.
deer are coming from because you haven't seen enough of.
Correct.
Yeah, and then you
God,
got
that's
this.
a bad
Then
spot
you
to
just
be in.
have hundreds of acres of corn that just came off. So the first day you had somewhat of a northwest wind,
Yes.
and then on the day of the 29th you have
It was
you're getting,
north. It was northeast.
Okay, so you're
So
getting
it's
a
getting
little,
warmer.
Yep, you're getting a little bit of northeast pole, and you're facing kind of south in that tree. Is that what you're facing?
I am facing north. I'm pretty much facing straight north.
Okay. So
with
the
a
wind's-
little bit of east to
Okay,
it, maybe,
yep,
but
yep.
that's about it.
Okay. All right.
So how I was saddle hunting, just because I really wanted to shoot the field edge, because I thought that was probably going to be
Where
one
the
of my.
CRP is at in the corn.
Yep. That was going to be probably my best shot. So I am on a platform standing with my back to the tree in my saddle.
Okay.
Oh, so you're like using it as like a tree stand.
Yeah. He's like behind.
Which,
Yep.
if I didn't, it would have been really tough to get that shot.
He would have been on your.
Yeah.
Weak side.
Yeah, you would
Yeah,
have like
and it would
3
have
o'clock.
correct.
Yep.
Yep. Which, and if you're tracking along with the wind the way he's facing, it's going to sound like he's damn near downwind on you.
He's getting there.
Yeah.
Did you
He's
have
walking right to it.
Because it looked like behind you had a little bottom. Is that true? Did it kind of
Yes.
go down? Did you have any thermal pull going down to that bottom at all? Do you know?
The first day, yes, because it was like dead calm. The day we killed, it was much windier.
Yeah.
It
went from 5 mile an hour
Yeah.
to 12, 13.
Okay.
Yep, okay.
Good
So
and steady.
it was a little
Yep.
more true.
Yep.
Those calm winds, I fucking hate those
Yeah.
calm wind days.
Yeah, good luck gussing.
I don't want aggressive wind, but I want that 10 to 15
Oh, yeah.
somewhere in there
Something
because
predictable.
yes, 100%.
Well,
those
especially-
calm winds, they could like come from here and pull that way, and it's
Correct.
like,
Yeah.
what do you do?
Especially when you're starting to get into terrain like these guys are talking about with the bowls,
So
and the
many bowls.
ridges, where it's like
They're like
it's-
little potholes.
Yes, it's totally different. out
Well, I
there.
want to say the 28th, everyone came back and said they had a completely different wind than every other person.
Four different winds.
Yeah. Well, look at
No,
what
I mean,
I
it's-
just
yeah.
asked you guys, and his stayed
Yeah.
true, but yours didn't.
Yep.
You're like, it's such situation dependent.
Yep, it is. Makes a big difference.
Yep. So morning hunts are done. It's midday on the 29th.
Yep.
Everyone's thinking they're gonna roll right back into the same setups for that evening, but from the first day you're there on the 28th, and then we got half a day on the 29th. Did the 207 ever show back up
No.
on camera on that time?
Nope.
Okay. Was there at all any kind of thought of like, shit, like our presence here might have changed him because he was so active the day before you guys got there?
No, I think my thought is he was just kind of passing through, kind of hung out for a little bit, and took
Yeah.
back off. I mean, it's nice to know that a deer like that feels comfortable on that property, and knows it, and maybe he'll come back to it. But
Yeah.
I mean, just the thought of he's here for the long haul
Yeah.
was not there.
Okay. All right. So yeah, we're
Was that true
here
for
we
you?
go.
For sure.
No,
we
we're,
go.
we're in it.
We're in it. Here
So
we go.
morning
We're-
of
Evening the
29th
29th.
Yep.
So, first of all, what's your mindset going in the evening of the 29th? Because you've had 2 sits now this weekend. You had the night of the 28th. He showed up the 27th twice.
Yep.
You had the night of the 28th, the morning of the 29th. You've seen a possible shooter once. What are your thoughts?
I'm gonna figure out on the north side. That was
Still, but you're still going back to the same tree.
Yep.
Now,
I wanna it. I don't like moving around too much, and I want to figure out a property or a section before I
Yep.
just bounce.
But like, you still got to be kind of optimistic of like, I still haven't seen what my intuition told me yet, right? Like,
Correct. I mean, and I think I think every person, like when Zack and Brian Wilson, just kind of put perspective to this. When they looked at the piece, the first place they said we need to hang a stand is right at that bird's mouth. Mm-hmm. Right there is for sure killer spot. Of course, it was CRP. We didn't know for sure it was gonna be mowed or not, but every guy who hunts looks at this and says that
this
right
is
there.
the spot right
Yep.
here.
Obviously, I'm not hunting right there, just because I don't know if you can get in there clean. If anything's bedding in that pond, but you hunt near it and
Yep.
you get in clean.
Okay, so from the 28th to the 29th, have any shooter buck showed up on camera yet?
Oh, Rich.
Yeah, I think Rich
Showed up.
Daylight.
And Rich was on the north side.
Yep, he was on
On
the
your
north.
side.
He was on the northeast.
So
side.
that's got to be a plus. Like, hey,
Yeah,
I've got
that-
a deer
right,
over here that
correct.
so that's got to be a positive.
Correct.
And when did the crab claw showed up when we were down there?
Yep. I mean, there's There's a bunch of deer there that we know that are
just takes
140,
time.
150.
Kill one.
Yep. You're in a target-rich environment.
Yes.
Just the calendar's getting right.
Yes.
The weather's
The-
right.
and the age class is there.
Yep. It's just a matter of time.
Somebody's gonna kill one. And the best thing about this whole thing, call me crazy, but the group of you guys are not selfish. It's like,
well, that's why it's worked.
That's the biggest thing about this whole thing. And if anybody, yes, this 207-inch deer that's sitting in the middle of this table is great. But the thing is about these guys is they went in not caring if they did want to kill. Trust me, you guys are competitive. You're just like me. I get it. Known each other for a long time. But the thing is you wanted Jake to kill. You wanted Wilson to kill. You wanted Zack to kill. You wanted Heath. It didn't matter.
No.
We wanted deer camp. We wanted to drink beer. We wanted to drink whiskey. We wanted to we just wanted blood on the ground to have fun. That's it.
Well,
that's the best part about it.
And Wilson put it best after the fact. And this was, maybe a week later, a couple weeks later. He said to me, you know how many people I've bragged about this deer to? And how we killed a 200-inch deer off
100%.
this lease.
It was us.
It's a team event.
Yeah.
It's a team event.
Correct.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
I was just gonna say that because we haven't even got to the actual kill yet, and I know
2 hours and 10 minutes in this podcast.
We're getting there. We're getting there. I promise.
Stick with us, everybody.
I know that Heath killed this deer, but the more I hear the story, it's like
team.
they all
Correct.
killed. I mean, because these are the kind of deer that ruin friendships between people.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like it could be.
We all know people.
Yeah.
This would have ruined
but
friendship.
not this one. Like this is what's the size of this deer is incredible, right? The story is great, but like everything around the story is what makes this deer so special, in my opinion.
Yeah, but so you're 100% correct. However, if you were a selfish hunter and you wanted just to sit on this deer where you thought he was, you didn't kill him. It was all four of us surrounding him, not caring who killed him. We didn't care if we killed him or not. We wanted to see him, just because you don't see that every day. But just to try to learn the property, trying to learn that property by yourself, you lose the whole season,
Yep.
and you don't get anywhere.
Yep.
So if you have four guys working together, well, everyone's gonna have greater
100%,
success.
dude.
Well, and that's actually where the story started. If you think back about when we were talking about what land they were wanting to lease, like Heath said right in the beginning that somewhere along the lines that he knew how they all worked together, so he trusted what they were
Right.
doing down there
Yeah.
already when they went to look at the lease or put the trail cameras out. Like he had trust in, like, these guys have been hunting together for a long time. They have a process of how they attack like something brand new.
Well, and I wish Jake was here too, because moving forward a little bit to after Heath killed this, I'm going to jump ahead a little bit, but I'll bet you there was a fraction of Jake that's like, damn, you wanted to kill that deer, but there's a big part of Jake that was like, God damn it, we got him. You know what I mean?
100%.
For sure.
Because I know Jake really well, and it's like he's just probably like, hell yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Wilson the same thing, Zack the same thing, and obviously he hell yeah, we got him. So okay, let's get into the stand. 29th, the night of the 29th. Take us through that set.
Climb up in the 207. It's warm. I don't know if it was 65 degrees or so. I'm
sweating.
Yeah, I already have pretty much everything kind of there, so makes it easier. It's hot enough to where I'm just in my Fanatic hoodie.
Love that hoodie.
It's a great hoodie. Zack got me hooked on it.
Oh,
It's like the best piece to hunt in.
Yeah.
Honestly, like,
phenomenal.
So versatile.
that's a good temperature.
when we get done recording, I'm going to show you the first one I bought in 2017, and I just bought another one this year because I'm ready for that one to like break down, and it hasn't yet. And I've worn it on every sit I've ever done.
I mean, it's why you wouldn't wear it. I don't know.
But,
phenomenal.
Best piece of gear.
Yeah.
About what time did you get up in the stand that day?
Oh, we probably got up there 3 o'clock or so.
And this is before time change, so you're looking at like a 7:30, 8 o'clock dark probably.
Something
Is
like
that
that.
is that where you're at?
Probably.
Yep. Well, I want to say we walked up on that deer around 7:30, in dark.
Okay.
Is when we found the deer. So anyways, we're sitting there. Haven't seen a single deer yet. And it's probably, don't quote me on time, it's probably getting close to 5, I would guess.
Okay, like prime time-ish? It's getting a little chilly?
It's probably a little early. Anyways, I know it's kind of getting close to time because of the fact that obviously I seen what I think might be Jake chasing earlier in the day. So I do just blind call.
Rattle, grunt, what are you doing?
I grunted and I rattled.
Okay.
Probably 5-10 minutes goes by, and I'm kind of, nothing's really coming. I can't hear nothing. Kind of looking around. I try not to play on my phone a lot. Just in years past, I've always played on my phone way too much. Right?
Yeah, no,
yeah. So I that was one of the things I tried to do more this year is don't play on my
more
phone.
focused.
Yes. Listen, use your ears a lot more, stuff like that. And I look up, and in that corner, I see horns. And at first, I don't know what it is. I see 6 on a side.
Oh, God.
And I pull up my binoculars and still don't know what deer it is. And I pull them up. I say, holy fuck. Which is
Out loud.
Yes.
Holy
That's
fuck.
what we named this deer.
Correct.
Yeah.
We named him Holy Fuck.
Every person that's seen the trail cam picture was like, holy fuck.
What? Okay. How far is he away?
110.
And he's by himself?
Yes, but a doe is working out right now.
Into the corn.
Into the CRP.
Okay, so he's
So-
in that like strip that is right by.
Yes, correct.
It's a landing strip for him.
Yep.
There it
It's a landing
is.
So
strip.
Yep.
I'm sitting there, and he is just making scrapes, thrashing, just pissed off.
Showing
right?
off.
Yes,
Just working that edge.
correct. Working that edge.
In what direction is he when you first see him from you? Is he like, southeast of you?
So from me, yes, he would. Well, he'd be.
The wind's out of the northeast.
Yep. The wind's on northeast. He is northwest of me.
Okay.
In that corner.
God.
You know
Yep,
that
you're
bird's
good.
mouth
Yep.
right there?
You're good.
He's right there.
He's gonna be top pin club when he hits the wind.
So-
I like Top Pin Club.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
He is kind of standing there for, I don't know, probably 10 minutes. And
Was it really 10 minutes or did it feel like 10
it was 10 minutes. I watched him for probably 45, 50 minutes.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. It was.
It's
Yeah.
ice in the veins.
No, I would never say that.
Had to take the zipper out of his pants.
No, it was, yeah.
Let it free flow.
I had a couple of coming to Jesus moments. So, and I'm like, no one's gonna believe this. Like, I'm seeing this deer.
Did you
right
get
now.
your phone up at all? And you're
So
like,
I'm trying to get my phone up, take a video. I'm like, he's too far away.
Yeah.
Can't really see. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try to put it in my binoculars. And about the moment I'm trying to do that, I'm like, stop. What the hell are you doing?
be in the moment.
Like, you're never gonna experience this again. Like, at no point in time in those next probably 10 minutes that are coming, do I ever think I'm gonna get shot. So I'm like, just put it away. You can talk about it at camp when you have a whiskey or whatever. Just enjoy it. Like, this is awesome right now. So I'm sitting there, blah, 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 and the doe comes out, and she starts working straight. She works at me and then works straight across. So she's going straight east. And so he jumps on her, and he starts bumping her. And
How far is she away from you?
so she crosses my lane at 56 yards.
That's close enough for me.
Yep. So 56 yards, he's following her. And I get to the point where I'm drawn back.
You're going to take a shot at him. Oh,
I mean, because why? I mean,
100%.
I practice enough. 56 yards at a deer like that, I don't know.
Yeah.
I
You gotta
mean,
swing your bat, right?
I mean, if anyone says that I can kill a 200-inch deer at 56 yards, good for you. I can't say that. I don't know.
I'm trying, though.
Yeah, for sure. That's
Yeah.
Yep, buck of lifetime. So he is bumping her, bumps her hard, and he needs to take probably 2-3 steps before he's in that lane. And she takes off running.
Oh.
and he just locks up. I'm sitting there holding. Well, he turns and works straight away from me. So I let go, kind of sit there, let him get probably 100 yards-ish away, all the way across to the other edge, exactly where I was set up the weekend previous. Like, it would have been a 35-yard chippy.
Ooh.
Just right there.
Are you sweating? I'm sweating right now.
So
Just letting you know.
Well,
almost every single night I lay in my bed and I try to put myself in this again. Because I want to relive it.
I absolutely
every
love
single
that
day.
he just said that because I'm sweating right now. I fucking love this shit. I do.
Well, I just picture what I'm feeling.
Call me weird, but I fucking love this shit.
I mean, I'm just thinking about my emotions when that deer turns.
Are your nipples hot right now? Are your nipples
away.
hot like Maynard?
The emotions were
that's-
something I've never felt.
Just want to puke.
How many times did you look? How many times did you say, "I was fucking there 7 days ago"?
A lot. I was like,
Oh my
I should have just
gosh.
went back there. But the wind wasn't good for it. So what do you do?
Yeah.
So I let him get back, and I grunt, and then I snort wheeze. I grunt, and then I snort wheeze at him.
Now tell me this. Okay, I'm going to stop you real quick.
Yep.
Because you had wind. A lot of those deer like to head downwind. Try to get around of what they heard or whatnot. Did you ever think about like, okay, my wind's blowing this way. Can he get around me with smelling me without me getting a shot at him? In the moment, did you ever think that?
Yes. So my only other thought was when he first walked away, he was going basically due north. But I thought maybe he'd
He'd have to
circle
go a
around
long
all the way
way.
to the east
Yeah.
through the
Long way.
northeast funnel line and come behind me. But I didn't think he would. That's why I waited for him to get almost to the edge
Smart.
to where he's going into the cover again. And I grunted and I snort wheezed. He acknowledged it. And from that moment on, I knew he was going to come check this out at some point in time because he started thrashing like I've never seen before. There wasn't a
Gets
single.
me hot right now.
It's like you slapped him on the ass. You know what I
Come
mean?
over here, fella.
Yeah.
You know?
There wasn't a single tree in his way that he didn't just mow over.
But that should automatically tell you, in which it probably did, that doe is not hot and not
Correct.
ready.
Yep,
He
correct.
is. He's just found her because
Yep.
she's just starting to smell a little good. He's gonna go try to check out what I got going on.
Oh, yeah.
So what I didn't realize at the time, what was transpiring behind me, was I had 4 or 5 does work out behind me into the stubble corn. And so I seen them,
Downwind. Downwind.
there across my wind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
They're
God.
south
But
of
it's
you.
but it's so dry down
Yes.
there that I think that is making it tough for these deer to smell.
Okay.
Well, and not only that is, you being around a cut cornfield like the next 24 hours is that smell is so
Correct.
strong.
So
Plus,
strong.
And-
there's 7 oil wells on this property, and that
Oh,
oil
really?
well over by you absolutely stunk.
And
Did it?
It was sour and it was strong.
I had I don't know what kind of tree it was, but it put off so much scent. Like the first thing that they all said when we went to track them was like, "Oh my gosh, what's that smell?"
Really?
Yeah, it was incredible.
It's interesting.
That was interesting.
I don't know what it was, but it was overpowering. So I'm sitting there, and I know I have his attention at this point in time. Like I said, there isn't a tree that's near him that's not just getting absolutely
Destroyed.
raped right now. And after probably 20 minutes, 15 minutes of him kind of
And he's still in the field, just
yeah,
on the
he's
edge.
yep. So I thought for sure he was going to work. There's another tractor trail goes from the CRP to that cut cornfield. I thought for sure that's where he was going to go, and that's where I called at him, and he obviously did what he did. Well, when he got done, he literally looked up and just snapped his neck and looked right at me, and yep,
He's coming.
So
He's
did
coming
you
right
just
now.
hit him with one grunt and one snort wheeze? That's it,
I hit him with 2 short grunts and a snort wheeze.
and that's it, and
that's
that's all
it.
it took.
That's all it
As
took.
He was just like, I gotta go
Yep.
check. That
I did
out.
not want to overcall. I've done this
Yep.
in the past. Of course, a deer like that, I don't know.
You're gonna throw the sink at him,
yeah,
though.
I don't
I
know.
would.
I don't know what what the proper thing to
What
do.
the protocol is, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, just I'm gonna do what I think, and
Yeah.
if that doesn't work, I don't know. I'm gonna maybe throw something else at
Sure.
you.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe throw my water bottle at you. I don't know.
Zach's done that.
Yeah.
You can.
Open.
Open up the Grizzly. Let them smell it.
$8.50 out in the food plot. Oh my gosh.
So he came at me, straight at me. At that point in time, he got 35 yards away.
So he comes on a line
Yes, right,
by himself.
Marching.
dead at me.
Now, the does that are behind you, did he see them as like, did
Yes.
that entice
So-
him in a little bit?
So there was a hill about halfway, so he would have been right about 50 yards. And he looked at him. He seen him, but he was coming to check out what made that noise
Yeah,
first.
sure.
So what the hell ran through your head when he first wheeled and made those first 3 to 5 committed steps at you?
Look,
Just
Zach's a podcast host now. Look at him.
But I would have
Broom over here.
I would have been like, holy fuck.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what I said.
He just knocking two, 3 more arrows.
All right, I'm missing 3 of them out of here.
This is what a zero sounds on his wrist.
Yeah.
I'll finger shoot these 3. I'll release shoot this one.
I'm going to throw this one.
No, I mean, it's so much of it's a blur, but then it's not, I guess. I mean, it's hard to describe it. Like, there's certain things, like, I don't remember, for like the first week, I don't remember hardly calling at this deer, you know, as far as getting attention again.
Yeah.
That's wild.
You know,
Wait.
but then all of a sudden, like, I do. Like,
Yeah.
I knew I grunted at him, but that was about it.
Yeah. You just had what's the word for it? But like when they talk about an adrenaline dump afterwards.
Oh, it was incredible.
You know,
like wait till we get to the point in time where I called Zack. I have no idea.
Because I mean, you're sitting here, you know, we all think that we'll probably never get a chance to hunt a 200-inch deer.
Mm-hmm.
Then when you see one that he's turning and going to give you a second encounter with him, basically, you know what I mean? Like, 'cause he kind of came in.
He's putting on a show for 45 minutes.
He already left, and then he's coming back again.
Well, let's be honest here. Everybody's pissed off that we haven't got to the shot yet, and we're this far, you know, piss off.
I mean, you're good at
second
editing.
the second thing is though, like the amount of people that have even laid eyes on a 200-inch deer in this world is a small fraction.
Yep.
Heath has just watched one for at least 45 minutes. Just experienced one.
Yep.
You know, that alone right there is a win, and
Oh, for sure.
you know,
Like,
and,
I was so happy. Like, holy hell, I just seen like this deer.
Yeah.
And little backstory. Jake came over on Thursday. We do dinner with Jake almost once a week. Anyways, was it Thursday? I don't know. We had photos of the deer at some point in time, and Jake was at my house and showed my wife, Katie. And we have this stupid clock. It's about 4 foot round, up in the peak, and I really want to hang a big deer there. And I have a couple to choose from. And she's like, no, we're not. You're not taking down the clock. Well, the clock doesn't work. It hasn't worked from day one.
Just a big ass.
just needs a battery.
Oh, it's
It's right twice a day, though.
No, it is right twice a day, but no
is a good
battery. The problem with it is the little battery that runs this thing can't support the massive hands this thing has. Like, the motor is not big enough for it. And I try to tell her this, she don't listen. But anyway,
Just has a solar panel, like
Yeah,
a trail
that's-
camera
yeah.
ran outside.
I might need a wind turbine turning this thing.
Sorry, Katie, but that's a woman. She doesn't understand it.
So she made a joke, said, if you kill this deer, I'll let you take down the clock.
Oh my gosh.
And that's a big deal. Like, that's a really big deal.
Touchy subject.
Yeah,
there.
I've been going at this for probably 4 years now. So anyways, I'm like, well, shit.
Yeah.
Like, she's not going to believe I even seen this deer. Like, maybe that'll work. So anyways, this deer works straight at me. This deer's at 35 yards now. Making another scrape right in front of this
So he's coming
massive...
down the field edge.
Yes, he's right at the field edge right now. Making a scrape, and I know at this point in time, I can push a shot either way. As long as he doesn't turn and work straight away from me, which he can't do that because there's does behind me.
Yep.
At that point in time, I know I'm going to get a shot. Whether I hit this deer or miss by 20 feet, I don't know yet. But I'm going to try it. So he makes a scrape for probably another 5 minutes, 7 minutes.
Really? That long? Mm-hmm. He's just taking a sweet time.
Yep, he's making a scrape. Rob's making another scrape. He finally finishes up, and sure as shit, he comes right down the trail. Exactly why I set this one tree up, that's why I'm there, is I expect any big deer to come right across here. And he did, and stopped him at...
Oh, you had to stop him?
Yep. He was moving pretty good.
Did he try to veer off into the field at all, like into the corn stubble, or was he coming?
So the trail gives me a really hard 1/4-2 shot. I almost took a shot at 30 yards because he went hard to the west into a thicket, and I thought maybe he was going to try to skirt me. And then he just literally came right back and worked literally right down the trail, dead center of the trail.
How hard quartering was he? Pretty hard?
Pretty hard.
Good for you.
Pretty hard.
Fixed blade.
Yep.
Just
Not
throw it right
not
in
worried
there.
about the shoulder.
Yeah.
Get it right in the goodies.
Yep. Picked my spot. So that's 22 yards. I'm stopping this guy right here. And
What did he do when you stopped him?
that's the only time I wasn't shaking was when I hit full draw. When I stopped him, I just meowed. Meow.
Yeah,
Stopped.
Meow. You meowed him.
So backstory.
I'm not sure if I've ever heard someone
No,
meow a deer.
I'm paid to
If
say
that's
that.
what takes a 200-inch deer, I'm good. I'm doing it.
So he
I'm
told
going
us,
to go out of the house in the morning and go, meow.
Here he comes. Hey, 200-inch deer walking away, just meow.
Well, how many times do they hear bah?
He's got something going on here. I don't know what it
Guess-
is, but
It's probably how we call
he's
that.
killed bigger deer than we have.
That's probably what we called that fawn in too. Fawn.
Meow.
so we told Kevin Gross that he meowed at him. He's like, you got to be kidding me.
Bought it. Hook, line, and sinker. So Brian Wilson said I had to
Kevin
come
will
on
buy
here and tell him meow.
So 22 yards.
22 yards.
You shoot him.
Shot him. Watch it go all the way through him. Almost dropped my bow. Literally.
Done.
No, I didn't.
Expand it. No. Throw the ball.
Boom.
No,
He
just
grunted at me.
I always say something right before I shoot. Just always say, God, guide this arrow. I can't tell you how many times I said that, but shot him in my panic to grab my binocs and went to set it down, like hanging back up, and completely
Missed the hanger.
completely missed, caught it, then hung it back up.
Tyler's
Be an
back.
athlete.
Tyler wrote this around his neck. Dude.
Wow, there's a lot going on right now.
Oh, God.
So he runs right back to that scrape at 35 yards.
Oh, so he wheeled around and went back.
Yep, wheeled around, went back. At that point in time, I watched it go through him. I knew it was a pretty good hit.
Blood coming out. Can you see it?
Yeah, when he stopped, and I can just see it pumping. I'm like, oh my God, you just pinwheeled this fucking thing. I did not pinwheel him, but
Yeah.
it got the
Good
job
enough.
done. Yeah,
You bumped him.
he got wobbly. Ass end started to give out and ran probably another 30, and I watched him dump.
Oh.
And I completely lost my mind at that moment.
Schoolgirl. 13-year-old schoolgirl
Yeah.
in a saddle.
So
The 30 minutes of meowing afterwards.
He just meowing all over.
So
Who was the first person you called?
Zach,
Yeah.
And how'd that phone call go?
couldn't tell you.
So,
Give it to us. Let's hear it.
Yeah.
Let's
so
hear
I'm,
it.
I'm sitting in the tree, and all of a sudden, my phone starts buzzing.
Yeah.
Fuck. Why is my wife calling me?
Yeah.
And it's probably not dark yet.
No,
No, it's not even close.
Yeah.
And I pull it up, and it's Heath. So I got
Oh.
two thoughts that run through my head. He just shot a deer,
Yep.
or he just fell out of his tree.
Something happened.
So I answer, hey, what's up? And just heavy panting and he's not talking. and I'm like, you just fall out of your tree? No. I mean, the emotion that was coming from him. Yeah. As he shot, I just shot holy fuck. I'm like, you did what? I mean, we had a conversation on the phone for several minutes, and there wasn't a whole lot of words said.
Sure. Just pure emotion at that point.
Like there was a point in time where he was laughing on the phone and crying at the same time.
Yeah.
Like just every single emotion that could hit you was hitting him.
Yeah.
The first thing I remember saying to him was he asked me, okay, calm down. How was the shot? And I just remember saying, it's pretty good because he's laying 50 yards from me dead.
Yeah.
And at that moment, I wanted to get down out of my tree.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care how good my sit was the night before.
Yeah.
I wanted to get down out of my tree and race to that truck.
Yeah, because there's two different emotions. One, when you shoot, but if you see them tip over,
Yes, that's when I lost it.
That's a whole different, because if you don't see them tip over, it's a gut feeling like, hey, Zach, I got an arrow in him, but I don't know what it is. But when you see him dump over like that's why there was no talking, just heavy breathing the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and I obviously talked earlier about the score, right?
Yeah.
I mean, score is not everything.
Yep.
Too many people are, too much weight in that number. But to watch what you think could be a 200-inch deer just fall in front of you.
Yep.
And have everything come together like that.
Yep.
I've watched the birth of 4 kids and, married to an awesome woman. It was just completely different.
Yeah.
I mean, it was incredible.
The fact that you watch him for nearly an hour, he came back for a second round with you. He
got the full experience.
Yeah, whatever ticket you bought for the show, you got everything out of it.
And you played everything. You played everything perfect.
Mm-hmm.
You rattled and grunted him out. Then he came to 56 yards. You let him get to 100 yards away, and then you hit a couple grunts and a snort wheeze, and then you just let him work.
Yeah. So you make the phone call to Zach, and he's wanting to get out of his tree. Doesn't care about what he's seen the night before. Are you waiting for everyone in the group to get there, or are you like, unhook me, get down, I can see him,
nope,
I'm going over there?
In my stand, after Zach, I called. I knew I probably couldn't talk to my wife just because it'd be probably too much of that moment when I was up in the tree. Called my cousin Matt.
Take the clock down.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Get up, get the ladder, throw that fucker on the ground. Daddy's coming home with a big one.
Daddy's coming home.
So I called my cousin Matt, told him what just transpired.
And I'm sure everybody around, like Matt and your dad, are well aware of the deer and what's going on.
Yeah, we've shown them pictures.
Yeah.
Correct.
Hank is waiting with bated breath.
Yes, correct. At this point in time, I haven't texted white lightning, so that's our code word. Anytime we shoot, we text white lightning.
Okay.
So I haven't texted that yet, and Zach's like, you need to text blah blah blah. I thought I did that pretty decent, but apparently it was like 40 minutes from white lightning to what I actually shot.
It just left everybody hanging.
And then
he replies, 15 minutes, it's a big one.
Oh, God.
And then 20 minutes later, holy fuck. I know what's going on.
I know
right?
a Zack text. Heath, act like you've been here.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was.
Act like you've been here.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
So I talked to my cousin a little bit. He shot one here in Michigan. Kind of went back and forth. Obviously, he was super sad he couldn't be with us, especially a moment like that. Got down, called my wife. Never went and looked at the arrow. Never, obviously, went and looked at the deer or anything like that. Just, I don't do it here in Michigan.
Yeah.
Always just wait. So, called my wife. She was over the moon. After she realized what I did, she said, "Fuck, the clock has to come down."
She did.
Oh,
you bet.
Remember. That's
You
a good
bet.
woman. That's a good
No.
woman.
And that was a big worry for her too. You know what I mean? Like that's, hey, good job, honey, but oh shit, I'm gonna have to take that clock down. All right.
I didn't want to have to bring it up, but
That's awesome.
so then I sat up by the truck for the next hour and a half.
Yeah.
How did you do that? By yourself?
Yeah.
I'm so
with
thankful.
no alcohol?
I'm so thankful he did though.
No,
Because
it's
to have everybody there
you
for that moment.
you have to.
100%.
Yeah, for sure.
100%. It you sitting up by the truck like that just tells me that you already knew that it wasn't just your deer.
correct.
Like when you make that
This is a
decision,
team thing.
you knew. Yeah.
Correct.
I just want to also throw out there, this is the same night that Michigan completely shit stomped Michigan State in football.
It's a good day.
29-7. I'm pretty
good
sure
day.
that's what the
Yep.
score
Yep.
was.
Yep.
It wasn't even close. Just so you know. Where I was in this world, like the OJ chase and stuff like that, I remember where I was at when Heath shot the 207. I was at the Bechtel shop. We were watching Michigan just completely shit stomp Michigan State. And everybody's like, we're getting this text back, and it's like, he shot the big one. So then immediately everybody's like, well, what's he score? You know, the number.
Yep.
It's
The number
full
game.
circle
For sure.
here, you know, because you get a deer like this, and you know, everybody threw numbers at it. Wilson, I was a little closer than you. Wilson did say 170. I'm sorry, buddy. I wish you were here. Bitch me out if you want next time you see me. But I did say 196. I was way off. Like, way off. But when you get something this big, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was nuts. Like I remember Wilson coming back to the truck. I'm like, all right, we can go drive 15 minutes, unload everything out of the truck, and then we can drive back here and go get the deer.
It's
and
got to be killing you, though. You got to go see this
He
deer,
wanted
right?
to go back to camp and drop all of our gear and come back. So it's a 15, 20 minutes drive to camp. And then we'll drop our gear, and then we'll drive 15, 20 minutes back here. And we were all like, no.
Yeah, Wilson's like, you've seen it go down, right?
Deer,
like,
we're
yeah.
not going to leave that deer unattended for any longer than we have to.
Yeah.
That's a thought for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I can't believe you did. I can't believe you were thinking that way.
He wasn't. Hold on.
There was no thought in it.
Yeah.
There was
Yeah,
no brain there.
You just said, I can't believe he was thinking. He wasn't thinking.
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like trying to get photos. I felt like I was in kindergarten. Zach was the chaperone. He's like,
Come on,
what?
Come on.
What are you
Get your
doing?
clothes back on. Let's go.
He's like, we need photos. What are you doing?
The next day,
The
you're like,
chaperone.
can we do picture retake day?
Well, and the thing is, too, I'm glad you did what you did, because there's a high probability it may never happen again.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, until next year.
To anybody, big
No.
smoker over here.
No,
Guess
I mean,
No, but
it's,
to like anybody that we know,
oh, for sure.
Yeah.
like actually, no, this may never
Yeah.
happen again.
There's one guy I know personally that killed a 200-inch deer, and that's Pat Jesse.
Yep.
Other than that, not a single person I know.
Yeah. So take us through. Everyone in the group is there now, and you guys are walking.
You're getting
out
ready
there.
to go out there and walk.
So-
yeah.
Take us through kind of every step that you're headed out there after them.
So we get up close to where my tree was, kind of show them whatnot. Obviously, I'm not like Kevin Gross. She was like, knock, we can all see this. It's strobing everywhere.
So you didn't hit him in the nose,
Well, I
didn't
aimed,
go-
I aimed for it, but I missed.
Kevin. You know, I do want to say I wish you were here to defend yourself, but I don't care that you're not here, because you had time to defend yourself.
No, so, I mean, I wouldn't even be mad at myself if I missed that deer by 6 foot. I mean, it was just crazy. But, so we get up there, obviously look at the arrow.
And it's just painted.
Yeah, it looks,
That
looks
arrow
all the way
really
through.
phenomenal. And there's blood right away. And there's
Thank
a
God
lot
you
of
were.
blood right
Thank
away.
God you used a lighted knock, because that is something I think everybody needs to use.
Why wouldn't you?
Stupid or not.
Yep.
Why wouldn't give yourself the advantage? I mean, like, so I shoot the 75 grain insert. It's not super heavy, but I go right through them, and it drives in the dirt.
Do you know what your total weight of your arrow is?
580-ish,
So you're heavy.
You're pretty
He's up
heavy.
there. Yeah,
heavy.
you're up there a
Yep,
bit.
Yep.
something like that. But like the year prior, we planted maybe on record the best brassica plot ever. And I shot a deer, and good luck finding the arrow in there.
You would lose a fawn in this thing.
Oh, it was incredible.
It was so tall, you would lose a fawn.
When Zack looks at me with the womb broom,
Yeah.
Just all business.
Your one-liners are pretty good.
All I see is the mic with the broom over it. The broom. That mic's got to be clean tomorrow. It's gonna have like just a antibacterial wipe on it or something.
Just down here with the air compressor, just blowing her off.
Did you tell him you put color in it?
Or
is that a secret?
I darken it up too,
You didn't.
dude. So
Little box color.
my mustache comes in reddish.
Zach,
have that.
Zach,
We can't have that. But look at how good this thing looks.
Zach, you did not
Hold on.
put color in your
Oh,
mustache.
that's why I darkened it up. Look at how good this thing looks.
Zach, you don't understand
Was
what
I
I'm
not supposed to
saying
say
right
that?
now.
This is gonna make for the best reels. This video. Let me make sure we're still good over here. The box color mustache.
I don't even know what to say right now. There's no way that Zack Block put color in his mustache.
I almost
told
went
you.
jet black just to really make it stand out.
No,
Dude,
you
he's telling
can't. You can't. We're. Oh my God! You put. Do you wax your inner thighs too?
No. My inner thighs rubbed together so much.
So they shave.
They chafe and they just rub the hair off.
Perfect.
So no need to wax.
I just lost respect for Zach. You let the color flow.
Hold on. Okay. Did you go buy the box color, or did your wife get it for
Oh,
you?
Amazon. No, my wife hates this thing. My wife hates this thing. I love this thing.
You know, not to get
Because you wear.
not to get
maybe get there.
not to get too
Sarah,
sidetracked.
I'm
but it's
sorry.
like-
I'm not going there. I was gonna, but I didn't go there.
just get on Amazon, just dark brown mustache color. Like, what do you
By
say?
Jeff Bezos.
Just for men beard.
Zach,
Unbelievable.
it is unbelievable. I can't believe you colored your mustache.
Well, you got to make it pop.
You know,
It
I'm
is.
telling you.
It is better for sales.
Hey,
So-
on fire. Sold 2
sell
lots today. I mean, sold 2 of them today. Thank you. They can't say no to this.
he knew we were going to video this podcast tonight.
He came clean shaven with the womb broom. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
Thank God
Oh,
you
yeah.
did. Thank God you did. But you just, oh my gosh. Okay, where were we at?
We're walking up on a 207, just full of box color.
Sidetracked.
And 2/8. Don't forget the 2/8 or whatever it is.
Yep. So I think every hunter's been there, whether you see the deer follow or not, but you know for sure it was a good hit.
Sure.
So I see it fall. I know it's a dead deer. But there's a little bit of a ridge. So you kind of follow the trail and you come up on it and you're like, it's right here.
How's the blood looking? I mean, are you looking for blood or no?
The blood was
Yeah.
excellent, but he's saying it's up over here. And so we got blood, and he's saying no, went this way, and there's
It bellied more to the left than I thought. I
Okay.
thought it.
so we kind of veered to the right.
He was
and
veering
there's
back
nothing,
towards the timber,
nothing.
like the cover. Okay.
Correct. So I come over the ridge and I'm like, I don't see a white belly, boys. I'm like, uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
And then I grab the sun, which is what I call my flashlight because it's so bright.
Dude, these things are
It's incredible.
Get
What
the
is
sun.
it?
Huh?
What is it?
It's the sun.
Where'd you get it
I'm
from?
not sure what it's called, but these things
You-
are so bright.
Amazon, duh.
No, you have to talk to Matt Block on that.
Lou got them for us for Christmas,
Okay, sure.
and they are bright.
Yeah.
Yeah. So finally see it, and at that point in time, I hand Brian my phone or his phone. I don't know.
Well,
will start
filming.
our consensus was, is that his rack? Because you can just see, like, a bush.
Because you
almost-
don't know how big.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah,
this deer's
we-
big.
I mean,
but
we
you
know
don't
he's
know
big.
what
Correct.
it
But
is.
it's like there's just like a bush
Yeah.
in this set aside just hanging up because it's. I mean, he's got shit everywhere.
Yeah.
So Brian films it. We walk up on it, and as we get closer, we're like, "Holy fuck! It's holy fuck!"
Jake goes, it's over 180.
Yeah. Zach says, "Oh my god! Oh, my god! Oh my god!"
No, it's not that silent either. It's, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Think about 8 times.
Yeah.
So he tell me this though, like, you know, with these guys being with you, like, what's the thought in your head when you first was like, oh my God?
Unreal. Like you can't you can't process what just happened
No,
quick
you
enough.
blackout.
I was extremely emotional as far as it wasn't like crying,
Okay, I've
but
cried
like
after a deer.
no, but like I was laughing, crying, like it was everything coming out just because this is like what every single person dreams of,
Every hunter in the world.
and just for whatever reason, a deer like this, and there's a stigma about a 200-inch number for whatever reason, and to
That's
know,
the pinnacle.
yes, to know that you might have just did that on a 1-year lease with some of your good friends, obviously brother also, not on a fluke, but knowing that you all just kind of pitched in and did this, like that's incredible feeling.
Yeah.
No, it is
Like-
incredible.
It's unreal. So walking up to it, it was not emotionless, but like you're not there yet. Like
You're
having
a
Correct.
warm body is what
Yeah,
you
you're going
are.
through
Yeah.
emotions.
Well,
Exactly.
It's just
What do I do kind of thing.
Yeah,
a
like-
giant adrenaline dump at that moment.
You've never
Like,
been there. You've shot good deer in your lifetime.
Correct.
But you've never shot the upper 1%. You know, and not to make this about me at all, but like when I shot the Hambino, the best thing I can tell you is like when I walked up on it, I did not know how to act. I didn't know what to do. How many deer have you walked up on in your life? A lot. How many deer have you picked up out of the grass? Antlers. A lot. I didn't know how to act. I didn't know what to say. I literally did not know what to do. And I can only imagine that's probably how you felt as well, as like fish out of water kind
I mean,
of thing.
you feel you're there, obviously, but you don't really feel like you're all. I don't know. You're not all there. I've been extremely, extremely fortunate to kill good deer. Zack's killed a lot of good deer, but we've been more fortunate to be together when we retrieve and
Huge.
recover most of those,
Huge.
and that's awesome. Like when I killed the deer in Ohio, I watched him run for 30 minutes trying to find me.
I'm fat and out of shape too.
Zack hasn't ran for 30 minutes since
Oh.
2006 when we graduated high school.
No, back to back years he did.
Back to back years almost killed me.
So Zack killed a giant 8-point in Iowa. We did not find that deer right away. It was 2 days later.
Days later.
I already killed. It's the last day of the hunt. Zack says, just go walk over here. So whatnot. I talked to Zack on the phone. I'm like, okay, where did you guys last lose blood? Yada, yada, yada. Kind of go through it. Hang up, phone with them. See a bunch of crows. Call Zack back. 30 seconds, a minute later. Found him. And
Thought
he's
he
like,
was fucking with me.
yeah, shut the fuck up. I'm like, I found him. And the first thing I said is, what the hell did you do? This thing's huge. That's like 26 inches wide. It's a giant 8-point. So he takes off running and goes, I don't know why you ran to the cabin.
I don't know.
He ran to the cabin, which
You
is,
don't know what to do though. That's where you go. You
Just
don't know what
wanted
to
to
do.
add an extra 400 yards to my run.
yeah,
No biggie.
quarter mile, and then had to run back, and then ran another quarter mile out of the way, and then finally called me. I thought he was going to die before he actually seen the deer.
Just no mustache left once he gets there.
Ran it right off. But like, no, I mean that's
about-
pretty. It's pretty cool to kind of do stuff like that
Oh yeah.
in Iowa or in Ohio, watching them run up and down these mountains. Like I'm literally right here. Like I can't make this any more clear. And he's just
Well, the bastard was hiding behind trees. I couldn't find him. And I flushed this deer to him.
allegedly.
Flushed him to him. Because Zach couldn't follow ribbons
Yeah.
to the
Well,
stand.
Zack was taking a nap when I shot. I woke
It
him
was
up.
literally 14 degrees out, and I'm laying in like 8 inches of snow, and it's 11:30 in the afternoon. I was laying in that buck's bedding, so he came back to bed and he's like, "Somebody smells like a egg sandwich," because Henry made me egg sandwiches that morning with onions. These were the best egg sandwiches I've ever ate in my life.
Sure, it wasn't.
Just all stuck up in the womb.
Oh yeah.
We need another co-host because Zach, if you can make the time, you need to be on every episode.
That's got next to tuna fish. That's gotta be the stinkiest damn thing to even
It
take
was
out
so
there.
worth it though. I'm telling you, you're 5 days and it's colder than shit. You're sitting in tree stands.
It's so
like,
damn.
man.
It's so damn cold. The thing's frozen,
Yeah,
dude.
100%.
I hate to make me an egg sandwich.
Yeah.
Just sucking on it, trying to take a bite.
I got a text from Zach. I don't know if it was like 11 o'clock in the morning. I read it and he's like, "Please hurry up and shoot fucking something. I'm so cold right now."
And my sandwich is gone.
Yeah. About 10 minutes later, Zach texts, "Was that you?" I'm like, "Well, who else
Well,
on
I
this
was
massive
freezing
hill?"
my ass off, right? So I'm at this point, I'm giving up, and I'm closing my eyes. I'm just trying to pass the time. I'm like, all right, if I can take a nap, I can knock 2 hours off of this, and then I only got another 5 hours to go. So you ever hear a gunshot with a barrel pointed right at you when you're sleeping, or not sleeping, but your eyes are closed? You have no idea what the fuck's going on.
All I do is picture him just laying flat on his back, typing like this, asking someone to hurry up and shoot. He's laying flat on his back, hears the gunshot, and he goes, just pokes his head up and goes,
There's a piece of egg that rolls off.
"Hey, was that you that shot?" Just head right back down, waiting for someone to text him back.
My cheeks hurt. Oh. They hurt.
You know that deer wanted to come back in that bedding, but he smelled me.
He stepped right
For
over
sure.
you.
And then he wheeled around, and he came up to him, and yeah, you're welcome.
Sleeping.
This is the
Hey,
consensus.
thank you.
He's
Thank
like-
you.
Team effort.
He's like, "I don't mind the hunters, the sandwich that I'm not headed back for."
Yeah, 160-inch 8-point, 13-inch brows. You're welcome.
I appreciate you.
Flushed them.
Flushed him. Didn't know we were doing a deer drive that day.
I was in his bed when he came back.
Yeah,
He went right to Heath.
we don't do deer drives. We just find their beds and lay in them and make them detour.
It's a hell of a tech.
Hey, works.
Well,
Proof's in the pudding, boys.
hey, when you have two people, a true bump and dump is put one of them right in the bed, so he can't come back.
That was the most deer you've seen that in the whole trip.
Absolutely, I was in a phenomenal spot. Like, you didn't see shit for deer.
No, you
I
didn't.
sat for 3 days and seen like 5 deer. I seen like 30 deer that morning.
Such a good spot. I'm just gonna lay on my back.
Literally. I'm crying. I'm crying.
Just lay on your back. You got 8 inches of snow, so there's only about this much of you above level with the
Yeah,
snow.
what, camouflage deer?
I didn't even need to put tissues on the table.
He just got a white sheet out there. All you can do is see his head under the sheets. Oh shit.
I'm sweating.
That was
I'm
a
crying.
hard detour.
Yeah, we got sidetracked.
A 207 box color and an egg sandwich. That's the name of it. That's the name of the podcast.
Egg Sammy and a 207. No, it is. I'm gonna write it down. Egg Sammy and a 207.
You're good with like the photo editing and stuff. Can we get Zach's face on in front of like just for men box
I
color?
could put a womb broom on, or an egg sandwich on that broom. That's a fucking shot broom you got on your upper lip.
It's coming in nice, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you, boys. They hated it at first, but
They hated
it's growing on her.
Your wife hates
It's
it.
growing on her.
just every
She
week.
actually hasn't said she hated it in like 5 days. So
He's just coloring it different shades for whatever shirt color he's wearing
Oh, yeah.
for the day. Just matching tennis shoes and a matching mustache.
My throat hurts right now because I've been laughing so hard. My stomach, I've got a 6-pack now.
Yeah, my stomach's a
I
little
haven't seen
sore
that
right now.
since 2007.
Yeah. Yep. Damn. That was a hard detour right
So
here, boys.
anyway, back to the 29th of October. We're walking up on 207.
Oh, shit. No, so you guys are fully at the recovery.
You're
You're soaking it in.
When you picked him up for the first time, I mean, you got to be thinking, Jesus, something.
Yeah, it was disbelief. Like, to actually walk up.
Out of body experience, it's got to be.
Correct. Like, to physically put your hands on him, it was something. Yeah. Like, just to know that, holy fuck, there's deer this big.
Yeah. And you knew, obviously, right off the rip that this was that deer that Jake got on camera, right?
No. So when I first seen him, he was in the brush, and I can only see a clean 6 on the one side.
Did you see?
That side.
The right side. Okay.
Correct. But he's in the brush, so you're just seeing bits and pieces of it, more or less. But I'm like, holy, like, we don't have a picture of a 6x6.
Yeah.
Well,
and then
obviously you can't count because it'd be 7.
Well, I was putting 6 on
the fly, counting on the fly.
Also, try to look through your binoculars when you're shaking that bad.
And get a picture with your phone.
Yeah, I give up on that pretty quick. But yeah. Yeah, once he actually picked his whole head up, when I said holy fuck, I think I said holy fuck, it's holy fuck.
Yeah.
And it was, it was unreal to actually, to put eyes on a deer like that.
Yeah. So when you walked up him and picked him up, was that the first time you thought like, oh God, this is him? This is.
No, I knew for sure it was him when I shot him.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yes. At first, when I first seen him, I did not. Probably 5 minutes, and I knew for sure it was him. But it's so hard. Anyone who says don't look at the horns, you're an idiot. Good luck.
Yeah.
I mean, you just can't not do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mainly because you're like, I'm looking at just such a specimen.
Yeah.
I want to look at him. I want to take this all in. I had 2 different points in time where I was like, okay, you need to just take a breath, calm yourself down, whatever that means. If someone can tell me the answer to how do you do that, I'm all ears.
I don't think anybody can do that because not a lot of people have been in that situation. And even if they have, it's been once, maybe twice, and it's like, I don't remember it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not tooting my own horn or anything like that, but like, I was actually impressed with myself that I kept my composure as well as I did. Mm-hmm. I mean, keep in mind, I've never shot a deer with a bow over 130. Mm-hmm. And this is my first deer I ever killed out of my Latitude saddle. Mm-hmm. Out of any saddle, period.
Boom, method 2. Let's go.
Yep.
But I mean, there's a lot of variables there.
Yeah.
100%.
And all of a sudden, I have this mega coming right in, and it's like, holy fuck, is this actually going to happen?
Yeah. Yep.
And it did.
Yeah. So when you guys are sitting around there, kind of standing over them, sitting there holding them, how much time did you actually spend out there in the field with them? Because that's something I want to get better at, like taking the time and just letting that soak in. And you got buddies out there and whatnot where it's just like
20 minutes.
Yeah.
We made the cell service sucked out there, but we FaceTimed Matt when we were out there, and he was at deer camp, and there were several guys over there. We FaceTimed Mom and Dad.
Katie.
His dad would want to see it. We'd FaceTime Katie when we were out there. We FaceTime Bernie. He didn't answer the first 2 times, but I just kept calling.
Where the hell was he at?
Well, he's an early sleeper, and it's like 8:30 at night. So
the guy
time that he's seen
camp?
No.
The guy gets up at like 3 a.m.
Oh, okay.
Everybody.
Just because.
Well, he's got to go run, right?
Yep.
So,
I figured I'll just keep calling him, and he'll know it's important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with all of that, you're making the phone calls, making the FaceTimes, and you have multiple people there. Was there ever a time kind of towards the end of that, probably that 20 minutes that you guys spent there, that it kind of just went quiet for a minute and like
yes,
everyone just kind of like
just reflect.
Everyone was taking.
We were all raw.
Yeah. Like I love those moments right there.
Like there,
you know what I mean?
I have a picture I didn't know was a video. Mm-hmm. Brian Wilson took a video where I was down on my knee or whatnot, and just I have 2 bad shoulders. They hurt a lot, but just like grabbing the horns, turning them, whatnot. Anyways, I let him to go, and I kind of put my head down and I kind of say a prayer. And I didn't know Brian got that on video, but at that moment, every single person was quiet. Everyone was just kind of reflecting on like, wow, like. So for anyone who wants to go do this stuff, it's possible. Like it's possible. Find a couple good buddies and go work as a team and do it.
And the property you killed him on is how many acres?
157.
Oh, you did kill him on the 157. That's right. Yeah. But still, it wasn't the 157 that's like the screamer. You know what I mean? It's not the one that looks out to you.
It's like, 130 tillable.
Yeah.
There
It was
you go.
the property that every single person passed.
And you got to think, one of the big takeaways for me for the story is, obviously number one is the relationship these guys have with each other.
100%.
That is takeaway number one. Takeaway two is you listen to the whole story. Every part of the story led to this deer on October 29th. The property's failing in Indiana, going ahead and just getting in the car and still going, even though you don't know what's ahead. And Heath just, putting trust in those guys and leasing this property, without being out there. And, trip number one, going out there, every place they put a camera to get intel on those early trips, like every piece of that puzzle, like every move you guys made led to that night.
Well, and I want to go a step further and just say Heath putting someone else before himself. Because it would have been just as easy for you to be like, hey, like you and Jake lease that property together. It would have been just as easy for you to be like, hey, you go sit in the bottom. I'm going to sit up top where the second picture was, real close to him. I'm going to do that. You know what I mean? Because a lot of guys would have been like, well, why wouldn't we bombard that area where he's like daylighted and had the most, activity?
Sure.
It'd been very easy for him to do that. And like, whether he wants to say it or not, I'm going to say it. He put them before him. And he even just said an hour ago in this podcast, he wasn't hunting this deer.
Yeah.
No, not at all. But also, so Zack got me, my cousin Matt, pretty much Bernie and my dad back into bow hunting. Zack kind of started around us. And Zack, I've learned a lot from Zack, from getting on deer, how to get on deer, yada, yada, yada. So as a big brother, I always want to see my little brother just kind of do one more, right? So why wouldn't I let him hunt over there?
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I hope someday he kills 208.
Sorry, Zach, you won't kill this one.
I know.
He'll pay a lot of money for it, though.
Yeah. I mean, I think with
You
that
may,
mustache,
though. You may.
those big things are coming in 23
No,
years.
never know.
You never know.
Sky's
Absolutely.
the limit. Sky's the limit. You wait till this thing is a year from now, and I come in with
There's no way you got that in a year. No
She's
way.
already given up on it.
She's done.
She's done. She complained about it for 10 days. She's accepted that this is her new husband.
Wait.
And here we are.
You better watch out. You're gonna have 4 or 5, 6 kids before you know it.
Well,
She'll move stay off you.
Yeah.
This is going to be
Zach's hunting will go to nothing.
I'm telling you. Good thing she's already got the procedure scheduled.
this is going to be the demise of the mustache. Is when the newborn gets here and the family pictures need to be done. She's gonna say.
So we took
things
family.
gotta
Yeah,
go.
we just got them done.
Oh, we were down in Florida, and we were down there for 10 days.
Yep.
And the gift to mom and dad was family photos down in Florida.
Yep.
And I shaved the mustache in the day after, and that's arguably my biggest regret.
Because it'd be a lot
It
thicker
should have
now.
been the day before.
Yeah.
Well, just because the way she had me standing, it really accentuates how fat I am. So if I would have had the mustache in, people would be looking at my face, and not how round I am.
Tell me this. Did you wear a wife beater?
No, she had me dressed in a button denim. Yeah, I looked great.
Hey,
I know. Well, she's also pregnant, so she dressed me
It doesn't show
down.
her belly, but it shows yours?
She dressed me down to dress herself up. Is that
It's a smart woman.
Just a Canadian tuxedo out there.
Why didn't you have a dickie on? You know?
A dickie in Florida. Pull it out like
Cousin
you're out
Eddie
there
over
fly
here.
fishing.
Cousin Eddie's got a white shirt on, but he's got a black dickie, so you can see the black dickie. Damn it.
Jeez, the rabbit holes will be fine.
Away she goes, boys.
Dude, you know, and the one thing, you know, that I need to say about this is like, Zack, you know, what he said about, you know, he hopes you kill something. You will, though, because the fact is what the knowledge you know and the hunter you are, you're in my eyes an elite hunter. You really are, and I'm not just trying to coat your mustache here.
Ooh, that could have came out way different.
I know I went upper, not lower. No, but seriously, like that, it's something that like you're very good at, and you take pride in it. You work your ass off to do it, and for him to say that, I can say this because he's out of the room right now. But for him to say that, that should mean a lot. You know what I mean? And the way you work your ass off, and I know how you just work your butt off in life in general, with your family and your job and stuff like that and the business. This is obtainable for someone like yourself or anybody, but I'm saying like it will happen. You know what I mean? But you know, God, the damn deer is huge.
He is.
And he's so damn unique.
Well, let's get into a little bit here because we talked about like when Heath brought him in for the first time today. Mother of Mary. You know, he's broke. He's broke. We thought he was broke. We said he's broke. You guys get a little bit of, you know, you did a little research down in Illinois and you found out that this deer has EHD or had EHD. Talk about that a little bit. Like, what do you guys know? What did you do? Who'd you take him to? Like, because the deer still got velvet on his tips. They're rounded. This has got velvet. This has got velvet. This one wants to break, I feel like. You know. Tell us a little bit about that.
So we took him to a butcher shop. Because, of course, you can't bring the deer across state lines. So we found the nearest butcher shop on a Sunday. Took him over there, and he's the one that pointed out that this has EHD. And there's quite a few tips of that deer that are broke.
Basically, just about all of them.
Just about all of them. And the ones that aren't broke still have velvet on the tip. So I don't know if they were sensitive or what.
And these ones, you would think they should be rubbed off.
Oh, for sure.
They're not hidden by any junk or anything like that.
How does a deer with this kind of character, like on its G3, it's got a flyer coming off and two almost flyers coming off here. How does he rub all the velvet off of here?
Off the flyers.
But not the tip.
Well, what I don't understand is what I watched that deer do. How does
Rake how many trees?
He thrashed absolute everything in his way. How does he not break that all off?
Well, and you can't see it on film here, and I wish you could, but this one right here, it's got the velvet. So there's velvet. Let's see if you can see that. There's velvet all the way through here. And where it's ripped off here, it's still bloody from the velvet. That's not from, like, Heath shot or the blood that came out of his body when he was dying. That's velvet. You know, because that's something I did ask Heath and Zack when they brought it here. I'm like, did blood go all over his antlers? There's no blood on him at all from the antlers. That is literally from the summer.
And where that right side G3 is broke at, that is so thick there.
Oh yeah.
Like he didn't knock off an inch.
Like look at the
He knocked off.
This is a cavern right here.
He knocked off several inches.
But
Same
also
with that G4.
I look at this deer every single day, a couple times.
It's gonna go where the clock is.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, Katie. But you look at this deer and where it's rubbed off. Look how straight the line is.
It's very straight. Right when you did that, I'm like, oh my God, I see it.
Is that actually true, or was that from something else? Because how does it have that in such a parallel line?
Right, like he tried to duck under a fence during velvet, and that part
Just
of it
kinda sawed it off.
just
Something,
completely
right?
sawed it off.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean that makes more sense to me than a disease. I guess I don't know how diseases work. I mean, this was the butcher's educated guess, I guess, but
Yeah, we're not.
I don't
think. I mean, no knock on that butcher. I don't think that butcher was necessarily a deer expert. He's a great dude,
a great dude. He also
but
didn't
he
know
also
how.
didn't know how to cap.
Yeah.
Didn't know how to cap a deer.
Zack had to do it.
Luckily, he handed me the knives, and I took it from there. So, is this necessarily? It's hard to believe that a deer that recovered from EHD was
Yes.
250 pounds and heavy.
Sure.
He
Correct.
was at least 250.
Yeah.
I mean, I am a fit, in shape guy,
100%.
and I was tired. That is heavy sarcasm. I don't know if anybody caught that.
Zach is 200 pounds. Twist his steel and sex appeal. A little higher. 215. Twist
Got a
steel.
Sure.
big ass
Sure.
on me. We'll call it 215.
Big junk. No, yeah. So now that you say that he can't cap a deer, I don't know if I'm gonna believe him.
Well, I've had this thought for a while where if that's true, why would it work like that?
Yeah.
Well, and why would it be predominantly on one side?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I
Well,
mean,
it
that's
is.
got that.
This
It's
is-
got a left side. It's got a left side G5 busted, but that's it.
Let's just say he did get caught. Like, let's just roll with the fence idea. But if he did do that, just cut them all off. Like naturally, he probably got himself in a tangle and had like that little freak out moment, and that's where he could have got the odd stuff on his left side.
So my only thing with the left side though is this G2, 3, 4, so 5. What Zach was talking about, that's rotted.
It is rotted.
it is.
Yes.
I don't know if you can see that in the camera. That looks like you almost took like a Bic lighter and just like let it sit there for
And
a
that
while.
stunk right out of the chute.
It
Yeah.
stunk.
In the truck on the way home, it smelled. You
Really?
could smell it.
Like
Put her up
like,
to the beak, and she smelled.
She still
Like,
smell?
yeah. No.
I don't know.
Not anymore.
No, she smells like Zach's house or Heath's house. Probably smells good.
You bet.
But that you can tell though it's rotted. There's something weird there.
Look at the tail of two different main beam ends on this deer. Look how much different they are.
How
That
thick
looks
it
like a-
is,
Yes.
how thin it is.
Yeah.
this
This one
looks like a red rocket here.
This one looks like it could have busted off right here.
Yep.
Like, I mean, they are two totally different.
Well,
sides.
and I think when we were talking about it, was it this one? There's one that just feels weak. You know what I mean? I was just kind of feeling around. It just feels like you could almost take the time and go
yeah.
Well,
and break it.
So I've thought this from day
Is
one.
it fake? Did you fucking make this?
Oh, I had him tied up for a long time. No, but I've thought this for a long time. The horns feel light.
Dude,
Like, to me, I feel like it should be more dense feeling. And I maybe that's just me. I mean, I've held this deer and looked at him
lot.
for so long,
with your left hand and your right hand was we don't know where that
Yeah,
was.
that's really none of your business. You had to pay extra for that.
That's pay-per-view.
That's for the Patreons.
So he's basically a mainframe 6x6 with how many countables does he have?
22.
22. Yeah. He's
But-
awesome.
This dagger right here though,
It's nasty.
That's my favorite part of him. That's my favorite part of that deer right there.
it's like, he's got one here. This Heath, that damn near is, did you count that little guy there? That's damn near a point.
And he's got a hell of a brow tine on that right side too.
That's my thing. It's like the deer's got hellacious beams. I mean, he's got where's the scorecard at? Pull it up.
25 and
What
24.
makes you think I have the scorecard?
7/8.
He's got the scorecard in his wallet, which I would have as well. He doesn't have it laminated. I would, but
Look at
let's roll
Yeah,
through some
hold on.
scores
That's the
here.
conference score.
first one for right side H4.
H4. So
C4?
C4. We're looking at 4 3/4. So 4 7/8.
Yeah.
Aggressive. That's aggressive. That's big.
Well, like it's
That we're looking at bases that are 5 1/4 and 5 1/2. I mean, Mother of Mary, where's the beams at?
what was that number though? You told us earlier that
Inch.
So the beams.
Yeah.
Inch and a half off from side to side.
Yeah.
So the right main beam's 24 4/8, and the left main beam is 25 3/8, which, like we talked, he's got decent length, but he's got scoreable. That's where
They just keep adding
Yeah.
on themselves.
But what I'm saying is, you make this deer a typical deer. He's not.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
not 170. He's one in the 60s.
Correct.
Would you agree?
He might surprise you as a typical 12. He may surprise
He
you.
might,
No,
yeah.
you add another 4 or 3 inch. I mean, because that right there.
Yeah.
That's 4 inches. Got to be right there. Is that
He would
G6?
surprise. I mean, you're talking 12
2, 3,
countable
4.
times.
Yeah, that'd be a G6. So yeah, God, he's just. What's his inside spread? Do you remember what his inside spread is?
18 and a half, maybe. It's on the bottom there.
Well,
Yep,
you could
18 and a half,
yeah.
18 and 4/8.
Yeah.
And there you have it. Thank you to Zack and Heath for coming in and doing a long haul podcast, telling about this deer. This deer is a once in a lifetime deer, well over 200 inches, and it's just those deer that have great stories and need to get those out there because you want more people to relive them with you, in my opinion. So thank you guys very much. Also, everybody listening, thank you for all the support, all the downloads. Please go to iTunes, leave a 5-star rating and a written review. Go to Spotify and do a 5-star rating there as well. And don't forget, we'll be here. And don't forget, we'll be right here next time on The Fall Podcast.